1 out of 5 stars. It was closed for the entire time I was there because of a landslide. Okay, so not the fault of the business. I'm sorry, were they supposed to just snap their fingers and get rid of the landslide? And dude, come on. 1 out of 5 stars. Basic food, terrible brew, pass. I'm guessing you were the one a little upset yesterday that you couldn't bring your own beer into a brewery to save money. What an idiot. Dude, you imagine going to Subway, but you bring your own sandwich to eat instead, and you just take up a seat. It's like, what? No, dude. 1 out of 5 stars, horrible treatment. Person at Googleplex out of the blue told me, "Hey ma'am, you cannot go into any building." Then I asked, "Can I use the bikes to explore around?" He said, "No." So I asked, "So just walk?" He said, "No, just walk outside. Have a nice day." What? I felt attacked. He was so rude. No idea why. 1 out of 5 stars. Firstly, the Chinese staff spoke no English. Dumb. Secondly, she chased us off an hour earlier, confusing us for the other family whose time was due. Dumber. Thirdly, our feedback and query and comment on their Facebook page got no reply nor apology. Dumbest. And finally, the ponds are so bright, making it easy for the fish and prawns to see us and avoid us. Replenishing is also very slow and in small quantity. Dumbness to a new level. A total waste of money to go here. Dude, I think this review is a total waste of, internet bandwidth. 1 out of 5 stars, waiting on my wife. She's having surgery. I asked for a food. They sent me to the biggest joke of a cafeteria I've ever seen. The waiting room I'm on has no TV. I thought a whole lot of money was just put into this place. It still seems like a glorified Band-Aid station to me. Oh no, no TV. If it's not like you don't have a phone that you took this f***ing picture with, you could probably entertain yourself with literally anything else. 1 out of 5 stars. I came into Applebee's expecting the usual comfort food, and I ended up having one of the strangest dining experiences of my life. Our server barely acknowledged us. He dropped off menus, disappeared for long stretches, brought out our food with zero enthusiasm, and never once checked to see if we needed anything else. No drink refills, no condiments. It was like we were invisible unless we were holding the check. After our lackluster meal, we walked out to the parking lot and immediately spotted our server sitting in his car with the windows cracked and a cloud of weed smoke pouring out. He saw us, smiled like we were old friends, and then cranked up his stereo. Out of nowhere, he started singing to us in a fake Jamaican accent. He's white, repeating the phrase, "We don't serve apples or bees at Applebee's," over and over again. He sang it 14 times. We counted. I can't tell if this is real or not. I really hope it is, because if I saw that, especially if my waiter was cool, I'd be like, hell yeah, man, you enjoy that. 1 out of 5 stars. While I'm sure this place is great, I went solely for the brownie sundae in the picture, and they did not have them. Dear Caitlin, thank you for taking the time to leave us feedback. We're very sorry to hear you were disappointed during your visit. On the day you came by, we were experiencing an unusually high volume of customers, with a line stretching out the door. During such busy times, it can unfortunately happen that some of our homemade items, like our brownies, dipped waffle cones, or cookies, sell out faster than expected. We completely understand how frustrating it can be to come in for something specific and find it unavailable. What's not understandable, though, is giving a place a bad rating because, oh no, they didn't have something. Why don't you rate them based on what they do have and the quality of that? 1 out of 5 stars. I'm unable to leave a review. That's positive because you close extremely too early. Are they unaware that there's an entire workforce that works second shift that would like good coffee? If indeed this place made good coffee, which I'm unable to find out because you close extremely too early. I'm sorry to hear our hours don't work for you, Eric. We are a family-owned and mom-run business, and so sadly, for second shift, that means we are busy being moms and prioritizing our families in the evening. We are open every weekend, though, so hopefully you can find time to visit us then. 3 out of 5 stars. Good cupcakes. The only problem is if you go 1 to 2 hours before they close, they are limited on what flavors to get. Almost like every other business that sells food or treats. That's not their fault. You came an hour or two before they closed. especially if they're an independent business. It's like, what are you expecting? 1 out of 5 stars. I would give a better review. I think our waiter was very rude. Had my fam in waiting for so long. I see he was waiting in 7 people that came in after us. My children and I were celebrating something one of us accomplished. On top of that, when we were waited on, he never got most of our requests. RT, and I understand that we sat ourselves down. He took our orders anyways, never gave another set of silverware to one of us. When I mentioned it, he told us we sat ourselves down. That's not an excuse, cause once he took our orders, he knew it was 3 of us. I spent a significant amount of money here for my fam, and I to be treated that way. Anyways, the food was good when we finally got it, but I still left him a good tip. I refuse to let anyone else have control over my actions that way. Thank you for reading, and I hope in any ways this can send awareness to anyone reading this. Have a blessed day. Dove and heart and forgiveness, amen. 1 out of 5 stars. Asked a girl with red hair working, said they only give military discount to veterans. I have come here a lot and they've given me military discount using my ID. Am not a veteran, and I had to ask her if she's sure because I've gotten it here before. Then she changes her answer and says they only do it to military people with their IDs. She sounded super rude. 1 out of 5 stars. Doesn't allow dogs. Not a fan. Road was horrible just getting to the parking lot. If my dog ain't allowed, I might as well save money, buy what I need off Amazon. Yeah, you do that, man. Fucking asshole, dude. Like, Jesus. 2 out of 5 stars. While this restaurant has good food and service, it is unfortunate that so many other patrons don't have a clue about how to dress when visiting a fine restaurant. We go there for special occasions like birthdays and our anniversary, and while we dress in business casual or better, to have someone sitting nearby in blue jeans and a t-shirt or wearing a trucker hat with their sunglasses perched on the brim takes away from the experience. Oh, how horrible. Given that a meal for 2 is $130, Matina's really needs to establish and enforce a dress code. If you dress like a redneck, go to Burger King. After probably 12 visits over the last 4 years, we won't be back. Oh no, the person next to me is dressed a certain way. I can't enjoy my overpriced fucking garbage. Like, I can't believe there are people willing to take precious time out of their lives to complain about shit like this. Like, dude, please apply it to something that matters. 1 out of 5 stars. Went into the store with 25 minutes left until it closed. Wanted to try on 2 dresses and they said it was too late. Horrible service from what looked like to be the manager. Clearly don't care for the business. Taking our business elsewhere, would never step foot in that store. You actually came in with 15 minutes left on a Sunday evening. We would never turn away a customer. Understand that our dresses are very special and we take the highest amount of care for each gown. We have been in business for over 20 years and we know you are not able to try on 2 dresses while enjoying the experience in 15 minutes. Not even 20 minutes. Our staff work hard to maintain a clean store. At 5:45, we had mopped the fitting room area and did not want you to slip. We welcome you back during regular business hours and we will be happy to help you find the right dress for your event. I hope they can't find the right dress. 1 out of 5 stars. Higher prices than any other Dunkin' Donuts location. All of the workers were disrespectful and possibly mentally handicapped. Can't get a simple order correct but completely back-asswards. Jesus Christ. 2 out of 5 stars. Closed on Sundays makes 0 sense, especially football season. Being closed on Sundays was done to give our staff a day of rest, especially considering the labor shortage. They've been working shorthanded as hard as possible. Giving them time off is important to us. I'm sorry that this decision is not to your liking. Have a Merry Christmas. Hey, I'm wishing this pizza pub a Merry Christmas every year for giving your employees time off. That's big. 1 out of 5 stars. I'm a traveler from Spain. There is no currency exchange service, no money changer available. What am I supposed to do because I run out of cash during my trip? Okay, well, I don't think it's the zoo's responsibility to have a currency exchange part or section place. Don't you do that at like the airport? I don't know if you drove in somehow or I don't know, but it's not the zoo's fault. You should have gotten more cash. 1 out of 5 stars, the most miserable staff, and a signpost that says, "Be extra, pay extra," will not be returning. Hey, I think a business has every right to charge people more money if those customers are being kids. That's my thought. 1 out of 5 stars. I recently visited Waterbum Park in Bali with my husband, eagerly looking forward to a day filled with fun and excitement. Unfortunately, our experience left us feeling deeply disappointed and disrespected due to an incident involving fat shaming. Upon arrival, we were met with friendly faces and a seemingly welcoming atmosphere. However, as we approached the water rides, my husband was informed that he would not be allowed to go on certain rides due to his weight. The staff member's approach was not only insensitive, but also disrespectful. It is important to note that my husband is a confident and self-assured individual who has never let his weight hinder his enjoyment of life. However, this incident at Waterbum Park, Bali made my husband and I feel very disappointed, and it was very disrespectful fat shaming him. We understand that safety regulations are in place, but there is no reason to fat shame my husband and tell him he is not allowed to go on any of the rides or slides at your park. We are very disappointed and will not be returning anytime soon. Well, you literally just wrote out that you understand the safety regulations. They weren't fat shaming your husband. They were just keeping him safe from hurting himself and also keeping themselves from being sued. Like, you get it. You're so close to getting it, but you're like, no, they're fat shaming my husband. No, I guarantee you none of them said, oh, sorry, sir, you're just too damn fat to get on this ride. Like, no, I'm sure they just said, hey, sorry, it looks like your weight exceeds the limit that we put on here to keep people safe. I'm sure you understand. It's like fucking children writing this shit, man. 1 out of 5 stars. Teo's Fly charged us $34 for an out-of-state fishing license for a 78-year-old. This is illegal and unethical. They would not give us a receipt either. Do not shop here. The shopper in front of us was angry about something with them too. He dropped something on the counter that was a return and walked out. New Mexico does not offer a senior discount to non-residents. Also, since all license sales are done directly with the state, we do not get receipts like we would if it was a normal transaction. Hope this clarifies your issue. 1 out of 5 stars. First impressions equals last experience. This was my first time attempting to conduct business with this shop, and the first thing the African-American customer service guy said was, "Take your hat off for security purposes," with several people standing in the showroom with the same said baseball caps on. I am a federal LEO, and to say I've never felt that type of embarrassment or humiliation is an understatement. Unbelievable in 2025. I hope you feel embarrassed for feeling the need to bring out the race of the customer service guy. Why was that necessary? Weirdo. 1 out of 5 stars, not kid-friendly at all. They prefer dogs over children. My 8-year-old pianist was testing a demo keyboard, and within 2 minutes, a store clerk told us that there is a 3-minute time limit for testing equipment. Okay, whatever. Unfortunately, they won't be getting our business, but maybe they will get better business from the multiple homeless people that are sitting outside their store panhandling for money. If you have kids, just stay away and take your business elsewhere. So it sounds to me like you're just upset about the homeless people. Doesn't sound like the business did anything wrong. Your kid played for 2 minutes. There's a 3-minute timer for testing equipment. Okay, sure. It sounds to me like you just have a problem with the homeless people. If you have kids, take them elsewhere. Like, what's so not safe for kids here? Because they can't play a keyboard for more than 3 minutes? I don't get it. I don't get it. 1 out of 5 stars. They are always out of stock of their avocado flavor ice cream. Seems like a simple solution. Make more. That's okay. I'm not buying anything else from them or BakerBots until I see it in stock. I've gone all summer, end of August, without buying a single thing from them. Their loss. Hi SH, so sorry for your disappointment. Sadly, the avocado crop for August has been unstable and are not very tasty or creamy. Crap avocados equals crap ice cream. Moreover, these fruits are just not sustainable. We had some really good batches for most of July. Too bad you missed them. Peak growing season extends from November to February. Fingers crossed we'll see some nice fruit soon. Hey, I like how transparent they were. They were like, hey, look, we don't want to give you crap. You know, if the avocados are crap, we're gonna make crap. We don't want to sell crap. I respect that. Makes sense to me. 1 out of 5 stars. My son used this lawyer and paid $10,000 and lost custody anyway. The office refuses to call my son back, and Heather no longer works there. What kind of law firm is this? Flashy and expensive, and we lost anyway. Well, yeah, you're not guaranteed a win. You're not paying for a win. What? 1 out of 5 stars. Super bad experience. My partner and I ordered the egg waffle one. They gave us separately within 4 minutes interval. I even told them we wanted to take photos together. Can we get our ice cream together in this hot weather? But they still did that. From my observation, we were not the only people who were treated like this. There were at least 4 couples who got their egg waffle ice cream separately. If you can only serve 2 waffle ice cream each time, why can't you make sure the orders with even numbers get their ice cream at the same time? This is so unprofessional, and their ice cream was just so-so. It was not even amazing. Never come back again. Dude, you had to wait 4 minutes, and you wanted to take a photo. You can just take a photo of it 4 minutes later. I'm sure it's not completely melted. And also, oh no, you can't take a photo of your ice cream. Why don't you get a selfie of just the both of you or something? I don't know. Like, stop bitching over nothing. 1 out of 5 stars. Big issue. The staff should put a sign at the entry for the visitors to be advised to not have contact with monkey if you didn't have your rabies vaccine. And if you did get scratch or whatever, to consult the medical area, especially as the monkeys are going to approach you sometimes in a friendly manner. Don't worry. What are you talking about? Are you telling them how to do their jobs? 1 out of 5 stars. There was only one sign on the door: no dogs. Not a service dogs only, etc. Just blatant in your face, no dogs. Not a fan. Oh no, it's a coffee shop. What, do you buy a cup of coffee for your dog too? 1 out of 5 stars. Just wanted to hurry me off the phone. After he made sure the first thing he talked about was money. Didn't help me at all. Whole thing is a waste of time. That is absolutely not what happened. Why would you lie like this? You said you couldn't afford the retainer. I then told you we take credit cards, we take payments from third parties, and gave you other options to retain us. You shot all of them down, said you were just getting out of debt, didn't have a credit card, already have a personal loan. I then said, okay, if we can help you in the future, please call. That is the truth. This review is just you being upset because you couldn't afford the services, but it's not an accurate representation and serves nothing but to, I guess, make you feel better. Yeah, exactly, yeah. 3 out of 5 stars. What kind of bakery doesn't sell cupcakes? Maybe this one, fella. 1 out of 5 stars. The worst of the worst. Don't spend money in this casino. I've been here for years and nothing to win. Nothing. Just eat every dollar from you, not a friendly staff with the client. I don't recommend to come here. Bye-bye. My guy, I can tell you may have been coming to this casino for years, but if you think there are any other casinos that aren't like this, whew, you're in for a rude awakening. 1 out of 5 stars. Let me tell you what, this place needs tap pay for people who don't have a physical cards, and to stop being rude when I ask if there was any other way register I could buy my food. My card hasn't come in and I can only access with tap. I tried getting something to eat, 2 things, and they told me if I couldn't pay in card, then I needed to leave. 1 out of 5 stars. The worst of the worst. The waiting time for the food is insane. Plenty of staff inside, but not helpful. Many lazy people works here. Talking, but not working and not help customers. Olds womans that don't hear well and misunderstood what you said, then others misunderstood too what she said. Unbelievable. I don't recommend this place at all. The quality food is not good. Tall, Haitian man behind the counter with low English arguing with a customer and telling her she doesn't speak English, as if he knew speak English, lol. Another black man behind the counter working with online orders, the same. A really disaster. A tall Russian woman, the same, disrespecting people. Incredible. I don't recommend this place, guys. 0 customer services at this place. It's not worth spending the money in this place. A review from clearly a very, very, very intelligent person, and very well spoken. 1 out of 5 circles. The restaurant has little customer interest. Asked for a table for 8 people on Friday the 18th of October at 6:30 p.m. They said either 5 p.m. or 7 p.m. This did not work with my guests and they turned down the meal. Only 30 minutes difference and they refused 350 pounds of business. They deserve to fail with this arrogant attitude. Simply idiots. So you couldn't get your booking. You did not eat at the place. and you're reviewing it? F you. 1 out of 5 stars. Rude staff, disgusting behavior with customers, special the dark hair, blue eyes morning shift girl. She's very rude. Not professional, 0 customer service. She looks like Cuban, okay? Bad English too, very disgusting. I live around, and when you want a morning Dunkin' Donuts coffee and you find this kind of person, it's really disgusting. I don't recommend guys this location. Drive far or go to Sunny Isle Starbucks. Unbelievable. Okay, so you're an asshole and you're racist. Especially go f yourself. I hope you choke on your coffee. Scorch your tongue, the roof of your mouth, your uvula. I don't give a shit. I hope you suffer. It. 1 out of 5 stars. This movie is awful. It made my kid cry. Okay, just looking at the clown, and why would they shoot a sheep and eat a kid's arm off? This movie is awful. I hate horror, and this movie is a very bad effect on kids, and they show the most awful, bloodiest scenes. Who wants to see that? It's cruel. If you don't like horror, then why are you watching a horror movie? Usually when you watch a movie, you kind of understand what you're getting into. You know what the genre is. If you like comedy movies, you're probably going to go see the comedy movie. If you don't like horror movies, you're probably not going to watch the horror movie with the fucking killer clown in it. And you're probably not going to take your kids to it, right? Am I crazy? 1 out of 5 stars. Very gay-friendly place. Super uncomfortable environment. I saw a dude wearing a dress. Never returning. Oh, and the food is overpriced trash. See, I'm a normal person. When I started reading this, I thought, oh, very gay-friendly place. This guy must be gay or something. He must be very happy to hear that. No, he's just a bigot. Cool. Like, if a guy wearing a dress is what puts you off and pisses you off, boy howdy, I can't wait to see how real problems affect you. Military wife Walmart rant. Walmart of Camden has some poor ass taste. When you walk into the door, there is a display of Elf on the shelves for sale, which is a tradition that me and my family do just about every Christmas. Well, my daughter sees the display and starts asking questions and thought the Elf on the shelves came from the North Pole, and I was like, sweetie, sometimes they come from Walmart. And then she started asking why Walmart, and this kid is just too smart for her own damn good, so I ended up telling her Santa isn't real, and now she is extremely upset, and I'm distraught. Thank you, Walmart, for ruining Christmas for my family. I went to the customer service department, and they basically told me there's nothing they can do. Nothing you can do? Take down the f***ing display, you assholes. It's safe to assume I will not be back at Walmart anytime soon. Wait, what? You're upset at Walmart because your kid asked a question and you what? I'm actually, I don't know what to say. This is a problem between you and your kid. It doesn't even sound like a problem. It just sounds like your kid is a kid, and I don't. What? 1 out of 5 stars. Pizza was delicious, but the pizzeria was out of mushrooms. How does a pizzeria run out of mushrooms? They did have gluten-free dough, and it was good. The place was clean, but a pizzeria with no mushrooms is not a true pizzeria. I would think being a holiday weekend, they would have doubled up on their produce, since you say you only bring in enough for the day. Common sense is it's a holiday weekend, let's double on the mushroom order since it is a staple at a pizzeria. Response from the owner. Hi, Susan. Thank you for taking the time to review us. We did run out of mushrooms by 9:45 p.m. on Saturday of Labor Day weekend. We had an extremely busy day, and we only bring in enough fresh produce that we will need for that day. I am so sorry for this inconvenience. I hope that you had a great holiday weekend. Thank you. Very respectful comment for someone who is... I mean, I guess they weren't not respectful, but they were kind of just a little bit of a dick. I don't know. I think it's so stupid that they'll say, oh, the place was clean, the gluten-free dough was good, but they didn't have mushrooms, so here's a 1-star review. Oh, way. 1 out of 5 stars. I read terrible reviews about this practice, but thought to give it a chance. I am new to Austin and looking for the right OB office. Hands down, the worst front office OB experience ever. I was in the elevator at 8:13 when my phone rang saying I was 15 minutes late and they were booting me from the schedule because they were short-staffed. First off, I was 13 minutes late, not 15, if you want to get nitpicky about the 15-minute late policy. I am new to town, drove 45 minutes in what apparently heavy traffic area. They asked the doctor if he would see me after taking said things into consideration, and he flat out refused. Apparently they pick and choose whom they allow to fall within their 15-minute window and who doesn't. So thank you from your new patient who drove 45 minutes from home, took off work, dropped my kid off early and paid extra, to come to your practice only to be turned away even though I did make it within their 15-minute window. I asked them to please be flexible given the circumstances, and they just did not care at all, almost like they enjoyed being jerks. After the other reviews I saw today about how bad this doctor is, I'm glad he isn't going to be my OB now. If you care this little about your new patients right out of the gate, you aren't worthy to have patients at all. If you can't follow your own policies that you put into place and you can't properly staff your office, you aren't fit to run a practice. And a response from the owner: Maria, I am sorry we could not see you. I know it is frustrating. They didn't ask me, but I do support their decision. We saw 31 patients in the morning. Then I went into the hospital to deliver a baby and then did another surgery. My day ended after 9 p.m. We take pride in having much shorter wait times than the industry average, while also being a busier practice than average. Many people complain about our waits at other practices. That almost never happens here. How do you suggest we work in a new patient when late? We ask new patients to arrive 15 minutes earlier than their appointment because there is a lot of paperwork to do first. We try to accommodate every patient we can. My understanding when I asked my staff about this was they offered you a slot later that morning. You did not want to wait. In today's world, it seems people immediately go online and try to destroy people without a full perspective. We work patients in depending on the situation and what's happening in the hospital. 1 out of 5 stars. We sent different types of people in asking for food, gas, anything. I was the one getting all the no, she didn't want to hear anything, rude, and just wanted me out so she could serve her people. What the f*** are you talking about? We don't need your entire life story or a goddamn dissertation. Just the f***ing recipe. Didn't your mommy pay enough attention to you? Pass. Oh, the free recipe you found had some words and information along with it? How terrible for you. Perhaps you should get out of your mama's basement and go buy a cookbook instead. That life story actually contains helpful information, but if you're an impatient child, there's also a jump to recipe button that takes you right to the recipe. Glad you passed, because this ridiculous entitled attitude isn't welcome here. Have the day you deserve. I like that phrase. Have the day you deserve. Because they deserve a really bad one. 1 out of 5 stars, all vegan. They don't tell you no meat. Tastes like you would expect if you like real meat, not you. I don't know what that means. Wow. Food 1 out of 5, service 1 out of 5, atmosphere 2 out of 5. Hey, sorry you listed us a 1 star. Just wanted to clarify if it's because we don't announce food is vegan or some other reason. It's listed on our Google, Instagram, Facebook reviews, and plenty of other places. If you like the food, I'd love to see if you can change it, but if you truly thought it was the worst thing you've ever had, then I'm truly sorry. Thanks for trying us. 1 out of 5 stars. Let me say this is my second time coming here, and both times were horrible. But let's get into the second time coming, because this is the reason why I will never return. Nicole is rude as fuck. I went into there on a Saturday for brunch with my cousin, whose special needs, which bottomless brunch she ended up a little drunk, she threw up in the toilet which we had to pay for, and she did not leave a mess because me and my older cousin went to the restroom. The bathroom smells like coffee and had coffee on the floor, which we just paid for because you charged us a cleaning fee. We told the lady that my cousin was mentally challenged, and she said, and these were her exact words, "So, what does that mean? Sweet science will never get my service or recommendation, and this is supposed to be a restaurant for the people, and y'all host even for mental health. Please, it's all false. I am highly disappointed." 1 out of 5 stars, proud Republican by birth. Oh, this is for the Trump store, by the way. I did not know this existed in Tennessee. Okay, when I think of Tennessee, I think of Trump. Went into the store for a gift. Every is made in China? No, thank you. Would rather get my money to a hard-working, proud American than something that came from China. When I questioned it as I was walking through the store, I was told to mind my own business. Well, my money is my business, and that storefront scam is not my concern. This guy's funding the enemy. 1 out of 5 stars. Horrible, unprofessional staff there. I don't recommend to go there. I went for lunch, but the woman that worked at the front with the yellow blouse looked Venezuelan. She was very rude to me, and definitely I left the place. She's supposed to be the face of the restaurant, but she doesn't care about it. Don't go there. Dude, what are you talking about? Okay, first off, you're racist. No reason to bring up that she looks Venezuelan. That's just not relevant in any way, shape, or form to anything else about this review or seemingly the restaurant or whatever the fuck it is. That's just weird. And also, dude, is she supposed to be the face of the company? A random employee? I'm sorry. Does the guy flipping burgers at McDonald's down the street from me, does he represent McDonald's? Is he the face? Is he Ronald McDonald? I don't think so, man. I think he just, I don't know, works there. Like, they're just doing their job. You're the one being an asshole. You're an asshole. Oh, I don't get it, dude. I don't know how you people function in society, let alone, like, just grow up. Figure it out, man. Like, call your parents, ask them how to behave. It's probably where you got your behaviors, if we're being honest. 1 out of 5 stars, only unpaved roads. Response from the owner: Hi, Paula. Thanks for visiting Willie's Still and for the 1-star review. We didn't pave the road because the mud helps wash the weak ones away. 4 out of 5 stars. Oh, that's surprising. Let's take a look here. It would be 5 stars, minus the bees and apples are all over the walk paths. People can sprain their ankles stepping on apples. I have seen grown adults throwing apples and being careless to the orchard. I wish I could have gotten some wine crisp apples. They were all gone and there was a sign for it. False advertising. Dude, they were all gone. They're sold out. That's not false advertising. You're just a fucking god. Anyways, sorry. Let me calm down. Let me collect myself. Okay. False advertising. I also wanted some Pink Lady cider that was gone as well. Overall, apples were so good and delicious, I made breakfast with fried apple rings and fried apples. 1 out of 5 stars. Awful bugs. Wear lots of bug spray and bug netting or else you will leave with welts on your legs and arms. Course was not flat, ball rolled all over the place, and I was the player with the best score. Dude, okay, the first half of this review could be for literally anything because it is not about an establishment. You're complaining you got bug bites. Is that the golf course's fault? I'm sorry. I didn't know that golf courses had an army of bugs that they send out to people to fuck their legs up or whatever. You know, it's like, are you crazy? And also, golf courses aren't flat. At least not all of them. I'm not a golf expert, but I've seen a couple courses and they're not flat. In fact, they're famously not flat because it's all about where the ball lands and if it rolls somewhere and you got to do all your math and shit and it's boring and golf sucks. I hate golf. I'm sorry. I don't like golf, but 1 out of 5 stars. Just lost a customer and more. My wife went to buy a $100 gift card this morning at 10:51 a.m., knowing they open at 11:30 a.m. Knocked on the glass door to get the hostess's attention, simply to ask if it was possible to buy a gift card now versus waiting 39 minutes, which is silly because they're not open. You can't buy anything if they're not open. The hostess proceeds to try to talk to my wife through the glass from the hostess stand. My wife can't understand and tries to tell her this. After a brief back and forth with my wife signing to the girl with wallet and cash in hand, the hostess rolls her eyes and dismisses her, then proceeds to look down and not even acknowledge my wife. What the he is this? Ever hear of customer service? Needless to say, my wife went down the way to another restaurant and they graciously accommodated her, and we got the gift card for their restaurant. Pretty sad, especially for the namesake restaurant of the Americana. Okay, so 2 things. 1, I don't know why you're whining about customer service. She wasn't a customer. They weren't open. And 2, I'm pretty damn sure the restaurant that she went to next was open. So of course they accommodated her because it was open. Mr. Ware, we are a very busy law firm, and as a result, we aim to work with the best clients. We set a consultation fee to ensure that people are serious about representation, that they value our time and advice, but most importantly, they value the time that is being taken from other potential and current clients. You were told about the consultation fee when you scheduled. You were sent emails and texts reminding you of the fee, which you opened and read, and explaining that if you did not pay the fee within 24 hours of your appointment, it would be canceled. You chose to ignore those and waited until you got the notification that you lost your appointment to take any action. Unfortunately, someone else that was serious about moving forward took your spot, and we offered you the next availability we had when you called. I am sorry you were upset about that. I wish you the best of luck. Yeah, look, if there's one thing that's going to be consistent all throughout human history, a lot of us just don't know how to fucking read. 1 out of 5 stars. I only have a low rating for the atmosphere due to how I perceived the owner. Most of the staff was friendly and welcoming, but the owner sat coldly in the corner doing paperwork, shooting sharp, smug glances at me. I did seem a bit awkward in my demeanor because I was new to the business, but I definitely felt very out of place due to how the owner was acting. No conversation with guests, no casual hellos, just judgmental glares. It was off-putting. Hopefully I misread her expressions. You know, if there's one thing I'm always looking out for when I go to a new restaurant or establishment, I'm always looking out for the owner to see if they're working, because if I see the owner and they're working, that's just kind of weird. I don't really vibe with that. You know, I'd rather they just walk around doing nothing and talking to me while I'm. This is stupid. What? You're upset because they were working? They're just doing paperwork. Like, what do you want them to do, dance for you? 3 out of 5 stars. For a store which contains many cute antique sinks and toilets, I was anticipating quite an interesting bathroom, and I was rather underwhelmed due to my high expectations. In short, it's simply okay. A perfectly serviceable bathroom. All you have to do is ask to use it. You are reviewing a store based on their bathroom and how easy it is to use it? Oh no, you have to ask to use the bathroom and it's not very interesting. Okay, but what about the store? 2 out of 5 stars. Thought it was a nice atmosphere at the time after rebranding. Enjoyed karaoke, and then while I was putting my great-grandmother in a taxi, I stupidly left my handbag on the bar and it was robbed. They took my purse, took the money, and dumped it. To be fair, the staff messaged the next day to say they found my purse and photos through CCTV, which I appreciated, but not who stole the 200 pounds. We received this 2-star review from a certain blank who, by all accounts, is a local reviewer. 1, never reported to us. 2, not been asked to review CCTV. 3, never rang the person to say we had found a purse on CCTV on Monday. 4, never even searched for a handbag. 5, never had a visit from police investigating the alleged crime. 6, we also haven't had a pub rebrand. 7, cannot remember when we last had a great-grandmother at our Sunday karaoke. So, lies, 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 and a fake review. Faker than a 10-bob note. That must be some British speak. Amazing that we get this literally days and hours after 3 students decided to rip our Union Jack, bunting down, and being hit by ridiculous comments on our recent post about bunting and the ladies' rugby semifinal, trying to stir up racial hatred. We are not going to waste police time on this at this moment of time, but if the slurs and fake reviews continue, we will. Please stop it. Hey, I mean, I appreciate them standing out against bigotry and hatred. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, this person is just, they just have nothing going on in their life. They have to make shit up to entertain themselves and make themselves look all high and mighty, I guess? 1 out of 5 stars. Terrible. These people are so cold and fake. My friend and I had an appointment over the weekend and it was the worst bridal experience ever. The owner stalks around all the brides' appointments and is just very judgmental. So was the lady who helped us, Kelly. They started cutting our appointment time down when they realized we were not going to find the dress today. We had a cocktail before the appointment and are naturally bubbly people. We were there to enjoy the experience and were very excited about getting to try on Berta. They kept making comments about drinking water and asking if the bride was driving or Ubering. When we confirmed she was not driving, they said, "Oh good, take some water." It was completely uncalled for and unnecessary. Do not waste your time or money here. Response from the owner. Hi blank, thank you for your feedback. As a bridal salon, we normally serve a congratulatory glass of champagne to each guest. The 2 of you did bring a bottle with you to your appointment. It is not our policy to allow outside bottles of alcohol inside our salons. We do not have a liquor license to allow multiple glasses of alcohol to be served. Your appointment was for the full duration of your allotted time. Our managers are always on the floor to be of assistance to all of our clients and stylists. Water is always offered to everyone, and if we offended you, definitely not our intention. We are sorry you didn't enjoy your time with us. We wish you the best. 2 out of 5 stars. I didn't accomplish what I needed the car for because of policy. Such an inconvenience. Guest attempted to use vehicle for Uber Eats and DoorDash and was caught doing it? Yeah, you can't do that in a rental car. You're bringing food into it and shit. And Uber? Huh? 1 out of 5 stars, terrible and discriminates. If you only speak Spanish, they won't call or obtain an interpreter for you or allow you to have a person or trust translate for you to use them as your lawyer. Sorry, we don't have lawyers who speak Spanish. I recommend contacting Romeo Perez or Africa Sanchez. Both are excellent divorce attorneys who speak Spanish. Hey, I mean, that's nice of them. They didn't have to give you suggestions, but they did. 1 out of 5 stars. I will not recommend this law firm to anyone. You spend all your hard-earned money to still earn jail time. They do not communicate with you unless they need a payment. They show up to your court dates late and do nothing. Then they leave you out to dry. You never speak with the attorney until your day of court. They do not work on your case until paid in full, $5,500 spent, and still having to fight for freedom over a hearsay case. They do not give you the best advice. They just try to complete the case to receive payment. These guys are a joke. Response from the owner. You didn't get jail time on the terroristic threat case we represented you on. We got you a non-conviction probation where your case will be dismissed and got your ankle monitor removed. That sounds pretty nice to me. We didn't even charge you to do the hearing on your ankle monitor issues. We were able to get you this great outcome in a case where you threatened to set someone on fire as well as other threats. It's also not a hearsay case when statements are sent as texts. You could have gone to trial but told both us and the judge you didn't want to. We were able to do this even though you are currently on probation for a felony assault and interfering with an emergency call. We did a lot of work on your case, and of course we expected to be paid. We also communicated with you via phone, emails, and in person. We were called 5 days after we completed your case. We were hired on at 1:27 to ask about representing you on your felony cases. You even spoke to us about representing you both on your probation revocations again yesterday at 3:31 p.m. Dude, can you imagine? You don't have to go to jail. And you don't have to have an ankle monitor. That's huge. Those seem like things that are very hard to get for a client if you're representing them, I'm dumbfounded that you have the audacity to get out of jail, get out of an ankle monitor, and other good shit. And it's like a 1 star? Are you crazy? 1 out of 5 stars. Heartbreakers. Be cautious. I used to go to the salon and one of the hairstylists had a big crush on me. She was absolutely crazy about me and told everyone at the salon about me. One day I had the courage to go and talk to her and ask her out for a drink like a gentleman. Oh boy. If she liked me, then she should have came up to me first. But anyway, after talking to her, she instantly did not like me for that. This time she told the other stylists bad things about me, making me look stupid and a complete fool for doing so. I just wanted to be friends and a gentleman. If she liked me that much, then she should have appreciated it. I wish some girl I liked came up to me and asked me out. I think she should have given me a chance. I'm actually a pretty nice guy. Yeah, right? And I don't bite, LOL. It's like winning $1 million and saying no to the money. I don't think I even want a girlfriend anymore. I think this chick made women look bad. I learned so far in life that most of them are all the same. Anyway, I'm so heartbroken till today. Wait, you were heartbroken until today? So you're not heartbroken anymore? You grew up? You realized that you're not entitled to someone's time and attention just because you have the delusion that they like you or are into you? Also, you just have a fucking enormous ego, my friend. You need to put that down a couple pegs. Having confidence is one thing, but I'm a gentleman and I'm actually a nice guy. Most guys who say they're nice guys usually aren't always nice guys. Never in my life had someone fail my inspection for a minor cosmetic defect, physically put his hands on me to prevent me from getting in my own truck, have his buddy steal my keys, and then call the cops on me. Never had an experience like this at a mechanic. These clowns are like the dumb redneck kids in high school who like to hang out in the Wawa parking lot and talk about whose Dodge Diesel is the best. As unprofessional as it gets. Straight out of the VA State Police Manual. If you have a problem with the laws, take that up with the state of VA. We here at Blank Auto Repair value our relationship with state and local authorities, which is why we complete our inspections by the book, and also why we call local law enforcement when customers are belligerent. Have the day you deserve. deserve? 1 out of 5 stars. Horrible experience with them. Didn't take my call. Completely rude via text. Such business owners don't deserve our business. Opted for another instructor instead. Called at 21:50 on Friday, the 22nd of December, with opening hours openly published in multiple places. It's amazing, right? It's amazing what you can learn if you just look around. If you need to know something, look it up. Learn. Do research so you don't look like a freaking idiot. 1 out of 5 stars. Overpriced. Was charged $24 for 2 double egg sausage sandwiches. Not often I feel like I'm being ripped off, but this place will make you feel that way. The sandwiches are better at Dunkin' Donuts and are quarter of the price. Sorry that you think an egg sandwich on a made-from-scratch bagel for $4.25 is a lot of money. Plus, you added sausage for $1.50 each, plus an extra egg on each sandwich for $1.50 each. Plus, you got a black and white cookie for $3.50, plus 2 Danishes for $3.95 each, for a total of $25. I find that to be very affordable. It was not $12 a sandwich. You got 6 items. Tell the whole story, please, or are you trying to close me down? And there's the receipt, quite literally. I mean, again, what's the point of lying, right? Well, especially to the business. They have the receipts, the literal receipts. They will cook your ass, dude. 1 out of 5 stars. Unprofessional. The employee who took my order was soaking wet. The sidewalk and parking lot was completely flooded. I told the employee, and she was completely unfazed and making no effort to help me or my children dry off. She didn't offer any apology or compensation for the horrible experience we had parking and entering the store. Lost 3 customers today. Okay, there's some missing context here. I don't know why the employee was soaking wet or why they were all wet. Is this like connected to a water park or something? Did she expect them to dry her and her children off, or him and her? I don't know. I'm just confused. It sounds like you're asking an employee at a restaurant to dry you off? What? 1 out of 5 stars. Wow, and not the good. Oh, sorry. Wow, and not the good kind. We were so looking forward to going to this place after our favorite restaurant was bought out and replaced by, quote, this place. The food rates well and it was beautifully renovated. Too bad that the owner is such a rude, arrogant witch. Yup, won't ever try this place because of this person, quote unquote. Welcome to the neighborhood. It will be short-lived in this neighborhood with such arrogance. And a response from the owner. With all due respect, Mr. Armstrong, this page is reserved for the comments on the customer experiences at Greta Solomon's, which, as you point out, is my business and is the source of my livelihood. I appreciate that you liked our renovation and have noted that the food was well rated. Considering, however, that you were not a customer at my restaurant, I find it puzzling that you allow yourself to rate it, let alone post your personal judgment of me on my business's social media pages. The fact is that you called on a Saturday afternoon to reserve a table for 2 for the same evening, and when told that we were fully booked, proceeded to demand that I find you a table as you were a loyal customer of the previous establishment in our space, the wonderful Glass Wine Bar. While I am delighted to entertain the former Glass customers, who seem to be enjoying themselves at my restaurant daily, I decidedly treat my customers equally. Answering your demands would have required canceling somebody else's reservation, possibly of a loyal customer, possibly of another former Glass patron. You would likely agree that such practice would sink at any venture. In this or any neighborhood. I find your personal account of me as a rude, arrogant witch somewhat entertaining, as it reminds me of the high school days, where such judgments seemed to have some value. But before you resorted to such language, you may have considered what impact your personal opinion of me, true or not, may have on my business. We at Greta's pride ourselves on exceptional service and food, and embrace feedback and criticism in our quest to provide a memorable dining experience. Seeing that you have decided that you will not dine at our place, we will never know what your true opinions of our restaurant are. Instead, we will focus our best efforts on satisfying our actual customers. 1 star. If I could give a half star, I would. That's it. Missing a period. Worst attorneys in DFW. You'd thought they were on the same team with the folks trying to put my loved one away for 15 years. Didn't file any kind of motions or nothing. Probably would have done better with a public defender. Then to top it all off, the attorney that I had been working with the entire time left the firm like 2 2 was before my court date, and no one told me. But I know one thing, when it was time to make that payment, or I was late with the payment, baby, they were reaching out. Don't get me wrong, I was fretful they let me make payment arrangements because I didn't have all the money up front. But other than that, trash! The receptionist, Sherry, I think that's her name, the nicest person in the office. I'm usually not the one to write bad reviews, but I'm literally in debt thousands for nothing. But it was a learning lesson. If you have a serious case, this is not the firm to go with. I repeat, don't do it. Response from the owner, I am guessing this is for your fiancé blank. I understand your frustration. Unfortunately, he was indicted for shooting someone in the head. He has been to the penitentiary twice and is on parole. Currently, he is looking at 25 years to life in prison, and we were able to get it down to 15. I wish him all the best. I wish it was like 75. 1 out of 5 stars. Lisa, the girl who answers the phones of this takeaway, Katie, likes to sleep with married men behind their wives' back. Do not order from here if you want your husband to sleep with other women. She's 19, my husband is 45. Says a lot, doesn't it? She can't find men her own age, so has to find older men who are married. Food is awful as well. Never liked the food, been coming for years, but won't be coming here again. Now this will be going to Panda Hut from now on. This girl needs to be sacked, no professionalism, and flirts with men on the phones all day. Would give 0 stars if I could. Apologies for the issue. Please come to our store and claim a free apple crumble. Apologies again. Kindly show this message to the staff. That is wild. Where do you begin on this one? 2 out of 5 stars. Had a bad experience today. My family has donated approximately 450 books to the library. Today I took the last of the books to them. I called and notified them I was coming and went inside when I got there. There was no offer made of help. I made 2 trips. They gave me a cart. During the first trip, I fell near a sewer and approximately 5 to 10 books fell down the sewer. Nearby people came, helped me, and we got the remaining books into the library. For the second trip, I demanded help, which I got, and there were no problems. The library employee should offer help on all donations. No more donations for them. Jesus Christ, some people really just have nothing like actually important to complain about, do they? Like, oh no, I dropped books in the sewer. How the f did you do that? Like, how did you actually do that? I don't know. Something smells a little funny here. I think you just wanted to complain. 2 out of 5 stars. Brother, please. Absolutely not. Tastes like what it looks like. Booty fart leftovers, like my 7-year-old made a mud pie out of dirt and cardboard. I felt like I was being gaslit by the word cookie. The audacity. Ugh. Never again. I felt bad leaving 1 star, so you get 2 for the sheer audacity approving for this for public use. Peas. Love the protein powder, but this protein bar is sus of attempted strangulation. What are you talking about? 1 out of 5 stars. This place was tragic. First, I was made to walk to the ATM to get cash for, quote, video head cleaner because they didn't want to take $24 for a $25 item. Well, yeah, if something costs $25, you fucking idiot. After going through the hassle of spending so much money there already, the owner wouldn't let $1 go. Not going back there again. We are a retail business. If it, like, I feel insane. It's like, yeah, if you go to the store and something says $10 and you give them 5, I don't think you're gonna take it because that's not 10, is it? 1 out of 5 stars. The place was absolutely disgusting. It smelled so bad, and everything was overpriced. That's a waste of money. I would rather go to Petco or anything else rather than to spend almost $100 on pet food just for the week. I don't recommend it at all. And they even have a worker there who's looking like a child. She looks too young, and she has a beautiful personality, but the things I have trouble with the most is how they are having a teenager working for them when they should be hiring adults, not teenagers, to do their work for them. Honestly, it feels like they're just using the young lady, so I think that she needs a break from them to get an actual job who will treat her well and not a pet store who will probably just make her do everything, and besides, it stinks and everything's so expensive. You are describing an employee like she works there. You're pretending like she's being forced to work. No, she probably applied and works there, and you are reading way too deep into a stranger you're never going to see again. Anyways, response from the owner. Hi there, I'm sorry you had a bad experience at our store. Our animal habitats are deep cleaned daily. However, all animals produce odor. They will also produce odor in your home. Our prices are slightly higher than chain stores because we pay more for our items as a small business. However, they are very competitive. As for your rude comments and discrimination towards our adult worker who works part-time, she is well paid and happy here. You should never assume things about people. Body shaming and discrimination towards staff will not be tolerated. 1 out of 5 stars. Literally just tried to call and make an appointment, and the person who answered the phone was extremely unpleasant and disrespectful. I asked him a question and he hung up in my face and then made threats towards me. After he hung up, 0 out of 10, do not recommend. We hung up because you were being very rude and impatient that we cannot tattoo you right that minute. Continued hostile phone calls will be reported to the authorities. If we could rate you as a customer, we would give you 0 stars. 1 out of 5 stars, not impressed. The staff is young. I didn't realize they had crystal boba and asked for 1 pearl and they wouldn't allow me to try it. The tea there is mediocre. There's too many boba places around to waste your time on a place that has to be weird with you. Sylvia, normally I would sincerely reply to you pleading to come back and give us another chance, but not today. Let me give you some facts. I use very expensive, award-winning teas from Art of Tea, which you will find only at one of the other local boba chains. I come in 7 days per week to personally make sure teas are brewed at proper temperatures, today included. I taste all the teas, and they were excellent as always today. Your assertion that our teas are mediocre is false. You simply have no taste. You complain that my staff is young. You are correct. And every one of them is a 10 out of 10 from an employment standpoint. I can only assume from your baseless complaining that you're most likely a mediocre worker. You didn't realize we had crystal boba? Well, it's right there on the menu, under boba, alphabetized too. And yes, you can't try our boba. Can you walk into a McDonald's and ask for a single French fry for free? No! Please never come back. Messed up our booking. 2 out of 5 circles. It is difficult to review this hotel as I didn't actually stay there. Okay, then why are you reviewing it? But anyone booking through Hostel World website should be wary, as we did book it and got a confirmation, but when arrived at the hotel, for whatever reason, they hadn't recorded our booking and were full. In fairness to them, they tried to rectify the situation by booking us a room in another hotel nearby and offering to pay for it. That's very nice of them, but the new hotel was rather weird, looked insecure, and needed cleaning. We opted to move to another hotel, and you're such a fucking moron. You are such, oh no, we got offered a free hotel room by our hotel that fucked up. Yeah, I just didn't want it because it looked, I just didn't look, dude, shut the fuck up. You were offered a free room? A free room? Like, I don't give a fuck what's it. Okay, well, I'll be a little upset if I see like bed bugs or, you know, like blood stains or what sure, I get it. That's understandable, but oh no, it's a little insecure looking. Like, shut the fuck up. 5 stars. All right. My only complaint is that we were celebrating my wife's birthday, and while you did light a candle, I was really expecting the dessert to be a gift. Just a bit disappointed. Otherwise, fantastic food and ambience. 9 out of 10. Well, why did you expect that? You're at a restaurant. You pay for the food you eat. 1 out of 5 stars. Why do you call the Egyptian section an African origins? The history of a country should not be attributed to an entire continent. Oh my god, you're a moron. We have no review here, or no rating here. I am a pescatarian? The only meat I eat is fish. I didn't know that was a thing. Therefore, your only current entree I can eat is the honey walnut shrimp, which I dislike. The breading is too thick and it is cloyingly sweet. The only other menu item currently available with the shrimp also has steak, which obviously I do not eat. So I just bought super greens. I would suggest that you always offer Impossible Orange Chicken and replace the honey walnut shrimp with a different shrimp entree, such as your sizzling shrimp. If you had trouble selling your previous shrimp entrees because they were too spicy for most people, you could use fewer chilies. I live close to a Panda Express, but I have to drive a very long way for good Asian food when your restaurant only offers menu items that I won't eat. It would be much more convenient for me if I could eat at your restaurant. It sounds like it would be much more convenient if you just bought your own food and made it because you have a very particular appetite. 1 out of 5 stars. Because of flight delays, we missed our paid-for appointed ticket time, and the museum was was unwilling to help us. Didn't go and refused a refund. We cannot be the first people to have this happen to them. So you had a flight delay. That's a problem with your airline, and you are blaming it on the museum. Right. 1 out of 5 stars. Really disappointed. Wanted to surprise my boyfriend for his birthday. Had my tickets for 9:30. Got there maybe 15 minutes early thinking we could get some fudge, and looked around. Gates were closed, left 2 voicemail messages. Waited, not even a call back. There's signs for goat cheese and fudge. Where are the hours posted? Thanks for taking my money. Karen, we have several places, including the ticketing site, the website, the actual ticket you were holding, and emails prior to class clearly stating that gates open at 9:30. We've been doing this for 8 years and have never once had anyone say they had an issue with the gates not being open in time for the start of class. In fact, we checked our missed calls and it shows that you called us at 8:53 a.m. from the gate. However, you did not leave any voicemails, contrary to your review. So you arrived at 35 minutes, not 15 minutes as you wrote, before opening, somehow expecting the property to be open, then wrote this poor review because you left before opening time? How would this be different from showing up to any event, restaurant, or any other place before they open and just expecting you would be allowed in, then leaving and writing a negative review without even sticking around until the opening time? Even Google, where you left this review, states that we open at 9:30 a.m. on Saturdays. This is our home, not a business. We operate Grady Goat Yoga as a non-profit raising money for children's charities and our goat sanctuary. We reached out to you in an attempt to help make this right. We left you a voicemail, we sent you an email, and messaged you on Facebook, but clearly you were not interested in being an adult about this. Karen, I know you are not going to remove this false review because it sounds like this is just the way you are. We had a great sold-out class that day, and everyone else entered after you left, which was before 9:30 a.m., and had a great time. You stated that you were hoping to arrive early to walk around, etc., but there is nothing on your ticket or even the event description stating that this isn't even an option. It is not. Not only is this our home, it is a working farm that does not have the safety protocols in place to allow people to just walk around unsupervised. This is why we keep the gate closed until 9:30 a.m. You were not truthful about how when you arrived, and you were not truthful about leaving any voicemails. You didn't leave any. Have a great day, Karen. Gotta say, the name, it checks out. 1 out of 5 stars. I shopped at this store for my grandchildren and was so upset when they put all my purchases in a black trash bag. I will never shop there again. It's now been more than 8 months and I still feel the sting of the insult. I would regularly spend more than $400 on shopping trips. That sounds incredibly wasteful. I just don't understand why the store would mistreat customers in this way. Because they put your shit in a bag? Like, are we being serial right now? How old are you? Like, are you fucking 12? 1 out of 5 stars. As someone who grew up coming here, I honestly expected more cultural humility and respect. To see that non-Hawaiian people were singing and dancing to indigenous and native songs isn't right. Please next time make sure to respect people's cultures. These are people's identities, and when other people take it as their own or sing, it is rude and inhumane. This is cultural appropriation. Please address this so other may feel called to come again and feel heard and seen. How much you want to bet these people are Hawaiian and they're just racist or stupid? Or both, they go hand in hand. 1 out of 5 stars, 3 minutes left before closing and they turned away 2 big families. Thank you for your feedback. Serving large groups 3 minutes before closing, especially with our time-intensive handmade rolled ice cream, would require our team to stay significantly past their shifts, impacting both payroll and their personal schedules. Just like at any food establishment, arriving so close to closing can create challenges. We appreciate your understanding and hope to serve you earlier next time. It's really not that difficult, right? Oh, let's go to this restaurant or ice cream place, whatever. Let's show up 3 minutes before closing. Oh no, they're out or they're about to close. Oh, and then you leave a review. It's like, dude, just fucking grow up and wait another day or something. I don't know, man. It's really, you're not gonna die. It's not that drastic. Sorry, bad karma. 1 out of 5 circles. On Monday, January 13th, 2025, I made a reservation for 3 nights for January 17th through the 20th. On Thursday, January 16th, I called to inquire if the Carter Estate has an on-site venue, restaurant, lounge, or bar that serves dinner. After many minutes, the on-hold recording offered me the option of leaving a voicemail, which I elected not to do. I later called back and spoke to a friendly, helpful person who confirmed there is no venue for dinner at the Carter Estate. I then stated that I was 100% at fault for not noticing that before I made the reservation. She helpfully offered to transfer our reservation to Carter's related properties South Coast Winery, which is located close to Carter and which has dinner options. We thought about all this, and then, in a later call, I informed the same helpful Carter Estate person that we would like to cancel the Carter reservation and decline the transfer to South Coast. She apologized and reminded me that the policy states that we must forfeit the first night's charge, which was roughly $350. She also helpfully told me she had asked if the charge could be waived, but that the Carter Estate declined to do so. Thus, we paid $350 to not use a hotel room that we booked on Monday and attempted to cancel 72 hours later when we realized the Carter Estate did not offer dinner or a bar or lounge. Again, this was completely my fault for not realizing this before I made the reservation. Still, it seems that a good karma move by the Carter Estate would have been to offer a one-time accommodation and forego the first night penalty of $350. This time of the year, with night temperatures in the 30s and day highs in the 50s, presumably is not a busy time, and thus I would be surprised if we deprived the resort of revenue by canceling. Indeed, the website shows plenty of available rooms. In any event, I regret having to write this review, but I felt the need to suggest that a better business practice may be to offer reasonable flexibility with regard to a policy that costs a potential customer $350 for the sake of enforcing a policy. It just doesn't feel fair, sorry. Dude, this is not a 1-star review. Like, I get it, it sucks you had to pay $350. That blows, man. But how can you, after realizing, oh, I made a mistake, I misread something, this does not come with what I thought it did. You recognize that, and I applaud you for that. That you get 2 points from me. That's great. You're so nice about the person who offered to try and get that $350 waive so you didn't have to pay it. You were nice about them. You understood. You're so understanding. But at the end of it all, you give it a 1-star review because, oh no, I got 1 out of 5 stars. He tricked my disabled husband into buying a $150 knife. The kitchen knives we brought were not sharpened. We had to take them elsewhere. That may be what your husband told you, but we don't trick anyone into buying anything. Most of the knives we sell are in that price range. If it is unused, you can always bring it back. The kitchen knives came straight from the factory. We don't control the manufacturer's grind. If they were not as sharp as you want, all you had to do is ask, and we would be happy to put an edge on them. Like anything else, you get what you pay for. 1 out of 5 stars. Never seen such rude persons in a store before. One of their salesmen is a total disgrace, shouting to customers. Hello, I don't think this is a fair review. You stepped behind the counter at a knife shop, Jesus Christ, you shouldn't do that anywhere, and grabbed a knife off the wall. Not only is that rude, but it's unsettling that when we ask you to stop, you continue to handle the knife. Yeah, you're out. You're kicked out of the store. You're never coming back again. 1 out of 5 stars. So sad, intolerant of different views. Truly an awful place to refresh and meditate. The place is polarizing, plain and simple. We are sorry you feel this way. You came into the studio wearing a shirt that said, "Make liberals cry again." We are a place of love. We don't care who anyone voted for, but are not okay with clothing that says you hope any group of people will cry. We are a place of kindness and stand by our choice to offer you a free shirt to wear. Can you imagine? You're the asshole. You're a total dickhead piece of shit. You just want to upset people around you. You go into an establishment, you're off-putting to the people who work there, and they offer you a different shirt so that you can stay and take part in what they're doing there, whatever, if it's meditation, cool. And then you decline that and then write a review because you're a fucking baby bitch who just wanted to piss people off. It's like, dude, you are insufferable. I can already tell. 1 out of 5 stars. I gave them 1 star because they didn't have a dining room, so we didn't eat here. Hey there, we're carry-out only, and I always have been since '96. It's listed on our website, Google, Facebook, Instagram, etc. Sorry you failed to look up the restaurant you chose to drive to, but leaving a 1-star review to punish a small business over that? That's wild. 1 out of 5 stars. Planetarium show is not ADHD friendly. If you fidget or struggle to sit still during the show, or you have an iPhone with the default lit screen, you will be harassed repeatedly by museum staff that seem to think audible ongoing harassment is less disruptive than leaving an individual quietly minding their business alone. Maybe have a sign that this feature is not neurodivergent friendly. Dude, you're in a planetarium. If you have troubles focusing on something, like it's like, do you go to the movies and you're like, oh man, I'm distracted, I gotta look at my phone while I'm watching the... Don't go to the fucking movies then. You're just wasting your own time, you're wasting your money, you're ruining the experience for other people because you're on your fucking phone in a dark room. Like, come on, man. 1 out of 5 stars. It's a nice place for touring, but the park rangers stinks. They're racist. They scream at me. It was so humiliating. It's okay for them to take care of the park, but screaming at people like if they're God, especially that short, bald-headed Mexican individual, I'm scared I never went back there. People, please be careful. 1 out of 5 circles. Worst room in our trip. My husband and I paid for a no-view room, which we assumed meant that we wouldn't get a view to the Parthenon. Okay, the room they gave us had a window in the corner facing the stairs, the only source of light in the room. There are no pictures of this on TripAdvisor to warn us of this terrible room. We asked for another room, but we were told there weren't any left. We were completely disappointed with this hotel. The location is great and the view from the rooftop is spectacular, but isn't worth staying in a corner without being able to open the drapes since you could find someone in the stairs. Oh no! 1 out of 5 stars. Not impressed. Zoos Victoria should let people touch some animals so that people who loves animals could touch them. Yeah, go ahead and like pet the lion or whatever. We'll see how that goes for you. Pet this very hungry creature. Go for it. 1 out of 5 stars. Guy delivering tried to steal my Amazon package. Well, I mean, that's not ideal, but also not the person selling the product's problem. Maybe talk to Amazon about that. Extreme axe throwing Hollywood, 3 out of 5 stars. They are more focused on their rules than us having fun. I understand that there must be a balance of safety versus fun, and I understand that safety comes first, but I don't believe a proper balance was met tonight. Dude, one can only imagine what this individual was doing at the axe throwing place that was making the workers go, hey, maybe don't do that, like at all. You know, this guy cannot be taken seriously with anything and has to be severely monitored. 1 out of 5 stars. I was going to buy for $100 and more, but unfortunately they make their own health rules. I went to buy from elsewhere. I wish them to go bankrupt and close. Jesus Christ, I don't even know what you're talking about, what they're selling, or I don't know, but calling for them to go bankrupt? I mean, geez. Here's a response from the owner. It's not right to attack a local Quebec business like this. We're following the government's health regulations. We wear our face coverings over our noses. Just because it makes you uncomfortable doesn't give you a free pass to infect us. Oh, I see. I'm piecing it together. I think this person went into the establishment not wearing a mask, and this was 4 years ago, so this would have been COVID times. Yeah, that makes sense now. 1 out of 5 stars. Food is alright. Staff is nice. Location is lovely. Too bad there's all genders bathrooms and they don't accept legal tender USD. Time to make it a state law. Oh, wah. Oh, poor baby. Oh, the bathroom keeps you from enjoying the food. Man, when some real troubles come your way, you're going to crumble. 1 out of 5 stars. The loud bird is unpleasant. We have signs everywhere that says, do not touch the birds. Looks like you didn't read the signs. Classic age-old issue with humans is they don't know how to read. 1 out of 5 stars. New management is terrible. I used to come here all the time and they would always take care of the regulars. Now she's like, we don't hook people up anymore. Like you don't take care of your most valuable members? We made you. Customer service is gone and Taco Bell appears to care only about the bottom line, not the customers anymore. Sad day in America, folks. Man, you can't even get hooked up at Taco Bell anymore. We have truly fallen as a country. 1 out of 5 stars. This girl who works there, her eyebrows look horrible. Wrong color, like a brownish orange and shaped badly. They don't accept walk-ins when they had an opening. Rude staff. I do not recommend. You're calling them rude when you're criticizing their appearance. We are very sorry that we couldn't accommodate a walk-in on a Saturday. We were, in fact, all booked solid yesterday. If we had the time, we certainly would have seen you. We love to help people with their brows. I'm also sorry that you found it necessary to insult the brows of my staff. I feel that comment was very rude and unnecessary on your part. We love to embrace our clients' brow individuality and realize that one person's brow preferences may not be another person's brow preferences. That being said, there is someone out there for every brow, and we wish you the best of luck in your brow future. I feel like brow is not a real word now. 1 out of 5 stars. I really want to give them 0 stars because on top of horrible service, they gave me the runaround for my wedding cake and never made my order even after my countless calls. Managers are coincidentally never around and all I got was a, sorry, can't do anything for you. I'm at a loss for words at how ridiculous this is and how upset I am. I was left without my wedding cake a day before my wedding ceremony. Good morning. We sent you the quote and it was never approved. As it states on our website, quote from an emails, custom orders are not made if they are not approved and paid for. You called the store on Sunday and insulted our employees since there was no order for you, which is unacceptable. Sadly, people need to learn to take responsibility on their own actions and understand that we are a business. If custom orders are not confirmed and paid, they won't be made. Once again, just read, like, especially if you're trying to get a cake made, that can't be cheap. You gotta know what you're getting into, you know? Like, jeez. 1 out of 5 stars. Bad experience 2 times here. I called trying to place an order here for a lemon cheesecake. They tell me that I cannot place an order. I have to go there on Saturday first, come first serve, never again. We did not tell you cannot place an order. What we said was that unfortunately you have not given us enough notice to have this ready by Saturday. We request a minimum of a week's notice, not a day and a half. As you have been here before, you probably noticed that we make everything from scratch. I am in business to make as many people as happy as I can with the quality of our products. I am not in the business of taking so many orders that we have to rush and take shortcuts to get the job done. We value our quality over quantity, and I think most of our guests prefer that too. The Rabbit Hole, vegan comfort cuisine. 1 out of 5 stars. Came here expecting to eat a nice cheesesteak as they advertise cheesesteak. It was fake mushroom mash with almond cream as the cheese. Will not be returning. My guy, did you read the sign of the place before you went into it? And also, why would you give it a bad review complaining it's not real cheesecake after you, I don't know if you ordered and ate it and then reviewed, or if you ordered and somehow they didn't tell you, by the way, it's vegan, or they really shouldn't have to tell you that because it's a vegan place. It's just like all the things that are wrong with this, it's your fault. It sounds to me like it's your fault. You're just being a little baby. 1 out of 5 stars. This man sold my son's custom birthday cake. Do not go to this scumbag. All he cares about is money. I contacted Rachel with pictures and a direction for pickup link several hours before her scheduled birthday party. I texted and called twice each, but didn't hear back. Party time came and I went and still no word. Figured it was a no-show, so I sold the cake while it was still fresh. Next day, Rachel texts to ask when she could pick up her cake, explaining that her car had broken down. I wonder, did her phone also break down? It's a basic courtesy, after someone has done all this work for you, to communicate to them that you need to reschedule. At this time, I did not require prepayment on all custom orders, so Rachel paid nothing and she got nothing. Sounds like it makes sense to me. 1 out of 5 stars. Me and my family had went and visited a dog we had really wanted for multiple reasons, set up an appointment for us to come back with our daughter the day of, right before they call and say they don't feel he would be a good fit because of our daughter. Since when can you tell me what would be a good fit for our home? We then pick our 7-year-old from school as he asks when are we getting the dog, as we have to break the news we cannot get him as an adult. You've learned to accept no, but when it hurts your kids, how far would you be willing to go? Dude, you're talking about your kids, like you're a parent, you're typing like you're a kid. Not a single comma, period, anything around it. Just run on the run honest of run on sentences, man. 1 out of 5 stars. Are you surprised? They have animals in very unclean environment and in very, very small cages. When I went with my daughter to get a cat for her, they refused to let me adopt after I checked that I may declaw on the application. They talked to me like I was a cat murderer or something. They made me feel horrible. They was doing the same thing to an elderly couple who were just there to adopt a cat and was grieving because their old cat just died. I overheard the man asking why they are treating him like they are and what was their problem. Eventually, I left with my daughter crying because they would not let us adopt a family cat. It was just child employees. There was no adult in sight. Dude, it sounds to me like, once again, like you are the child here. It's like, first off, I understand their position of saying no if you're going to declaw the cat. That is not cool at all. Whether or not you think that is a fine thing to do to a cat, they clearly do not think it is fine, and they are the ones giving the animals away. They're not gonna let just anyone take, it's just some people cannot accept that, hey, this is not, this isn't your rules. You have to abide by the business's wishes, like that's just how it is. Do you understand? Are you ready to be a big boy now? 1 out of 5 stars. Dine in. We arrived late to the restaurant and they were kind enough to seat us. They told us we could sit inside and then showed us an outside table they would move us to. In the middle of the entrees, they moved us to some makeshift table in a wind tunnel. They were rude and condescending and told us too bad. They didn't give us utensils or napkins or water and just left us there for over half an hour until we finally got someone for the check. It was the most awful and embarrassing experience and I would never go back there. Service 1 out of 5, atmosphere 1 out of 5. Here's the owner. Hi, we usually do not respond to reviews, but in this case we felt the need to. Your party arrived an hour and 15 minutes late to your reservation on the night in which we were fully booked. We offered you one of the nice tables outside, but you refused and demanded to be sat inside and said you would eat quickly. The reservation after you can wait for your group to finish, and also you would be fine moving outside when they arrived. You were incredibly rude to our staff and entitled, the exact kind of guests that makes this business so hard for restaurant workers like us. We're happy that you decided to never come back. 1 out of 5 stars. I was called a racist by the lady that checks your receipt before leaving for using the word foreigner. Maybe train your employees on what racism really is. I'm just going to go ahead and assume that you, for some reason, I don't know the context of the conversation, whatever. I don't really think it needs context. Why were you calling them a foreigner? Why? Like, what does that have to do with anything? I don't know, man. Seems like you I'm just saying could be maybe a little racist. I don't know. 1 out of 5 stars, really bad experience. They never explicit about the not use of GoPro in the helmet. When I told them can I wear in my chest, their excuse was it is safety issue. Really? Safety issue? I have ski and do a lot or activities, and after the girl with black glasses, well, it is the policy. So I told her once thing is a policy, never explained, and other one a safety issue. A GoPro in the helmet or in the chest, it is not a safety issue, so she was expecting to earn some free money. She was, or if you don't like, just leave, and I was no way, I'm not going to give you my money free, and she was insisting to me to leave. I was no, and no, I'm not going to give you my money free, so she was trying to stop a roster to singing, and I was like, now what is safety issue to the roaster signs? She was, I just follow orders. She was, no, I'm not going to give your money, but it is the policy, and I was, so where is GoPro? It is the backpack, and I was, okay, so what it is the issue now? Other person or the group was paid for me for leave. So, bad experience, that girl has annoying way to say things, and it looks her boss has the fault of everything, even for her tone. There are a lot of places that don't allow to record the experience, but they don't say it is safety issue, and they are clear from the beginning, so don't come with excuses that a GoPro is not allowed because of it. Dude, this sounds like they turned on the voice-to-text feature and just started rambling as they walked around the house. Like they were talking to one of their friends or family, just ranting on the phone. Swear to God, that's what happened here. My God, my brain. We have a strict no cameras policy clearly stated in our confirmation email. Cell phones and cameras are not permitted before, during, or after trail rides because we must be 100% present handling large animals. This policy is in place for your safety as well as the safety of staff, other riders, and the horses at the ranch. Since a GoPro is a type of action camera, it is included in this policy and is not allowed to be brought on trail rides. Our policies also state that anyone whose behavior is disruptive and or causing an unsafe condition to ride for horses, other riders, or themselves, or any rider who is not respectful of Cornerstone Ranch policies and or staff, will be excused and asked to leave the premises. Regardless of whether you agree with our policies, we expect that guests will respect our rules and treat our staff with courtesy, which you did not, which is why you were asked to leave. 1 out of 5 stars. My wife, daughter, and I traveled from a state over and had to detour due to roadside construction, causing us to be 11 minutes late, which we had informed them of in advance. When we arrived, no one greeted us. Employees walked right past us looking at us in a weird way. We called to a young lady and told her we had reservations. We were given waivers to complete, and after returning them to her, she disappeared for about 15 minutes, then returned and said she was going to get the horses ready. An older lady who appeared to be a senior employee or management walked right past us. I'd asked if my wife could get a larger helmet and was told they are the same and all very dirty inside and out. The horses were brought out and they all seemed antsy and uneasy. My wife was told that they didn't have enough guide and so it would be 1 guide to 3 riders. Red flag. As we all mounted, a storm appeared to be approaching and we were told we couldn't go riding, which we understood. We were then told by the same older lady that we wouldn't be refunded our deposit because we were more than 30 minutes late, although it was 11 minutes, and she said this with an attitude while making very little eye contact. We just said it was fine, wished them a good day, and departed. I think we dodged a bullet. Our policy for all customers is as follows. Please arrive 15 minutes before your scheduled ride. Your deposit will be forfeited if you do not show up, cancel within 24 hours of your scheduled ride, or you arrive 10 minutes late. My records indicate that you arrived 18 minutes after your scheduled ride. Even though you were late, we still agreed to take out your family. When your daughter got up on our small, very well-mannered pony, she began to cry, which is when you decided not to go out on the ride, and at that time is when we advised you that your deposit would be forfeited. 1 out of 5 stars. We had dinner. Nice atmosphere, relaxing. Waiters are attentive. I ordered chicken strips and french fries for our 3-year-old son. It was served with banana ketchup. We requested tomato ketchup. We're Americans. We hate banana ketchup. The Boho Bee Farm restaurant staff said they only serve banana ketchup. For those who don't know, banana ketchup is disgusting. It's a very cheap, low-quality substitute for real tomato ketchup. This tells me Boho Bee Farm doesn't care if Americans eat there. American kids love tomato ketchup. It's not that expensive. Stop being cheap, Boho Bee Farm. We will not come back. Oh no. I actually don't think I've ever heard of banana ketchup. I'd try it. 1 out of 5 stars. I went to the Sephora in blank the week of its grand opening. I was extremely uncomfortable being waited on by a man wearing excessive makeup. I won't go back. I am not comfortable with the trans ideology. Them wearing makeup does not mean they were trans, but I suppose a simple-minded, bigoted individual like yourself could not think that hard. What a shame. I'm so sad for you. 1 out of 5 stars. Flat tire and they didn't fix. Anybody to do the service, it is okay, but they refused to put some air to go in another place. Insane! But I'm fined close by Rapid Tire Shop. Mexican guys never refuse work and they are perfect. Mr. Thiago, it was nothing personal. Your tires are dry rotting all around the sidewall and shoulder of tire. The tire tech explained the condition of the tire to you and even showed you the damage on the tire. We are not allowed to touch any old tires that show significant signs of wear and tear. That includes putting air in the tire, as it can possibly explode due to the condition. We are happy to know that another shop was able to help you. Best of luck to you. 2 out of 5 stars. Hey, we actually got something above a 1. I was rushed in ordering, and the restaurant itself was cluttered with millennials every which way. I was mistreated, assumingly due to my age, and could not eat in the shop due to the millennials in the way. Something tells me there were no real issues, you just really don't like millennials. 1 out of 5 stars. I followed the recipe exactly, except that I replaced oil with applesauce. Unfortunately, it did not turn out well. Its consistency is neither brownie-like nor cake-like. That's strange. I can't eat it. Sadly, we'll have to dispose the whole thing. I don't know what went wrong as I followed the recipe exactly. Exactly. Saw X, 1 out of 5 stars. Vile. Far too violent and nasty for me. Accidentally rented it via Prime Video, wasted $6.99, lasted 10 minutes. Needs an R rating and a warning due to the level of violence. Would give it 0 stars if I could. Yeah, I'm sure there wasn't a rating or a warning, anything, anywhere on the page. Just disgusting. What the hell, Amazon? 2 out of 5 stars. I really hate this app. I had a review on here before, and for some stupid reason, ever since the CEO stopped replying to the reviews, they deleted the previous ones. You are not gonna take my freedom of speech away. One way or another, you will hear my voice. Damn, dude, they needed their review for TikTok out there so badly. It got removed off the App Store. They had to review the actual physical building. 1 out of 5 stars. Least like of any national or state park I have visited. The staff will reprimand children and then read off the entire list of rules and regulations to parents. Very Orwellian. Dude, like, you're the parents, you should have read the rules and regulations. If you're not gonna read them the first time, you shouldn't be surprised when they read them to you, like, verbally, because you couldn't f***ing read them. Like, come on, man. 1 out of 5 stars. If I could give 0 stars, I would. Does not offer vegan, plus you are in the same vicinity of meat-eating carnivores. Deplorable. 1 out of 5 stars. This venue was featured in a graphic film filmed on location by ALO. I get that business is tough, but you don't need to resort to that. Don't bring your kids here. And the kids would know about that tidbit. How? How does that affect? How does something that was shot there affect the actual place? Beats me. 1 out of 5 stars. Brain dead new employee. Went there today since I was nearby. Asked the young female for a Whopper meal. She said $10.41. Really? Should be about $6 without a military discount. Calling corporate tomorrow. Well, I'm sure they're going to be very receptive to your feedback, sir. St. Francis Yacht Club, 1 out of 5 stars. I get this place is a private club, but when a 4-year-old little kid wants to use a restroom and you guys don't let him, something is wrong with you guys. It's a yacht club. It's a private club. It doesn't matter what kind of club. It's private. You can't, like, wow, the entitlement. 1 out of 5 stars. Yes, I know I said 1 star. I do not like the color yellow, so I always rate 1 star so that there is less of it on my screen. This is a positive review, not a bad review. I am rating 1 star to prevent yellow. Thank you. Dude, you must suffer severely when you go to any other reviews on, like, you can't see a 5-star review sitting somewhere as you write this. Okay, man. 1 out of 5 stars. The mountains were obstructing the view of the sunset. Super disappointing. And that's the park's problem. How? 1 out of 5 stars. Children under 5 are unable to ride camels. Not actually advertised anywhere before you arrive. Very disappointing. Honestly, wouldn't have gone if I'd known my daughter couldn't ride. And let's just take a look at this Google result. Tour information. Children must be 5 years and older to ride a camel. Wow. It's almost like it's almost like if you do research before you dive into something, you'll be better equipped and you'll know and you won't waste your time. 1 out of 5 circles. 4DX is awful. Went to Cineworld 4DX to see Avatar. Left after 40 minutes. Hard to comment on the movie as it was ruined by being constantly assaulted by my cinema seat. It erratically jolts and nudges you. When it's not doing that, it blows air and water in your face. To me, the appeal of cinema is the some escapism, to drift off into another place. That's impossible with 4DX. Avoid. I have not tried a 4DX showing because unless I've seen the movie before. You know, if they're showing Transformers in 4DX, one I've seen, one of the older ones, I'd watch it, sure. I'm gonna smell like oil and rust and metal and, I don't know, not a lot of blood, I guess, but dirt, I don't know, get that shot into my face while I'm watching robots beat the shit out of each other? I don't know. Right here, though, what is 4DX? It describes it. It tells you exactly what you're in for. I don't know what you were expecting, really. Arrived without armrests, 1 out of 5 stars. The sofa was shipped without armrests. I called Target customer service and they gave me the phone number of the manufacturer. I called and their voicemail is full. No surprise. Additionally, it was delivered a day late in a snowstorm and left on the side of the road. The lazy drivers from FedEx would not carry it to my door. I will put a hold on my payment and use the sofa for firewood. Target is too busy being woke to care about providing customer service. Maybe if I was buying a bikini with extra space to tuck my male member, they would be responsive. These people who scream around the word woke, literally, they cannot stop thinking about trans people or anyone in the LGBT. Like, he's talking about a f***ing couch. Oh, I got my couch got delivered and it was late and it didn't come with my armrest. Also, I hate trans people. Like, you are incapable of getting them out of your head. Please grow up. Please do some self-reflection. We got this 1-star review from a fellow Texan who drove 40 minutes from Bountiful, walked in at 7 p.m. on a Saturday, and we were out of brisket and pulled pork. He was hot about it. Quote, never in my 56 years of living in Texas have I gone to eat brisket and they were out. Look, we respect the passion, but we gotta say, if you've been to Franklin, Snow's, or any real Texas joint, then you know when the barbecue is gone, it's gone. We're not a chain. We're not microwaving leftovers. We cook it fresh each morning, and when it sells out, that's it. That's how authentic barbecue works. To the real Texan who left this review, we want to feed you, on us, but there's one catch. You gotta show up before we sell out. That's the deal. That's barbecue. That's Texas. Hey, they said we want to feed you on us. That means if that guy makes the drive, before they run out, he's got barbecue. I think that's a very generous offer from Steve's Black Sabbath Barbecue. Also, holy shit, I did not read the title of that name until just now. That's awesome. Be prepared to be injured, 3 out of 5 circles. The GPS took us to a chapel. The Mammoth Hotel didn't provide an address, so just a P.O. box, and they said that they cannot fix the GPS nor their stationery, so guests have an address. We read the TripAdvisor reviews of the Wild Cave Tour, but didn't realize this tour would be so demanding of strange body contortions. My husband has a fused spine, so crouched walking hurt him terribly. I hated this long drag we made. Did you read drag? It's less than a crawl because there's not enough room to use your knees, so you only have your arms to drag yourself through sharp rocks, breathing dust for 100 yards. This is not what I thought we were going to be doing. I thought walk 5.5 miles, but log rolls, poop shoots, and a lot of crawling, scrambling, climbing made this an endurance tour I didn't appreciate. My arms were cut up, my husband had terrible purple bruises and bruised ribs, and the site/caves were not lovely. The stupid governmental sequester meant the Snowball, quote, restaurant, where we could purchase a lunch while on this hike, was closed. Man, if only there was a way to know what you were in for. 1 out of 5 stars. Had a horrible experience today in store with the checkout person named Dom. We shop here weekly, all of our families as well. I went in today with me and my 2 kids to buy a whole bunch of skateboarding stuff to pass out for charity. There was a cooler there that we wanted to buy and we have bought in the past. This time there was no price tag. He had another cashier named Melissa come over and she made up the price of $100 off the top of her head with no way of backing it up when in the past we bought that same cooler. It was $39.99. Melissa and Dom then called someone else that wasn't even working and was at home, and they said the price was still $100 with no way of actually showing the true price or with no SKU numbers. They were super rude about it, so we put the 2 carts full of stuff we had back, and I asked for the manager's name and number, etc., and theirs as well. He said he's just a cashier and just ignored me and my kids like we weren't there and kept checking other customers while cussing under his breath. I'm very surprised that he works there with the anger issues he has and how aggressive he got while cussing to customers with kids. Like I said, we come here all the time and never had a problem, but today was very horrible experience with Dom and Melissa, unfortunately. Also, all the skateboarding stuff that we were gonna pass out for charity we put back because of this situation. What a fucking crybaby. And I know that stuff sells fast, so we won't be able to get none of that stuff back to pass it out for kids that could use it to keep them out of trouble and occupied at the skate parks. F this customer. Okay, so here is what happened. This customer wanted to buy a cooler. He said he bought at another of our stores for $14.99. He had scratched off the price stickers. Let me tell you, the store manager had put them there that morning. We have never had these coolers before. I noticed the coolers when I clocked in thinking, damn, I want to get one, till I saw the $100 price tag. So the customer brings it to the register with his other products. Keep in mind, he scratched the prices off the coolers. Tells us that they are $14.99. He was informed that they are $100. Proceeds to be real rude because we won't give him his made-up price. Gets all the names of the 2 people working, you know, retail forever short-staffed, then proceeded to post anywhere in our little town telling everyone a whole-ass made-up story about the interaction. Why are customers so damn rude? Find this guy and roast him, please. Workers have almost quit because of their name being thrown out there when you can easily figure out where they are. Yeah, this person sounds like, trash. 2 out of 5 stars. The ambience was nice, but the food was terrible, and they had rats and roaches all over the place. I wouldn't recommend this place for a first date, maybe for a third date, but definitely not for a first. Hey babe, so, you know, we've been talking for a little bit now. I know we've gone on 2 dates and they've been great, but I want to take you to this really nice spot. I hear it's great for a third date. Do you like cockroaches? 1 out of 5 stars. Driver did not deliver my parcel today. The photo you have taken is not my address. The address on parcel said 58 blank Lane Bishop Auckland, but should have been 59 blank, so I do not know where you delivered because the number 58 does not exist. I am furious as this has happened again. Here's another dodgy 1-star review. The customer put the wrong address on their order, number 58 rather than number 59, so I delivered to the correct location according to where they ordered it to. They've even had the cheek to say that number 58 doesn't exist. It's about 500 yards up the road on the opposite side. Maybe try putting the correct address on your delivery next time. Yeah, that's a user error right there. 1 out of 5 stars. Being refused entry with a small dog in a bag that doesn't move. Deplorable when humans are 10 times more disgusting. Parisian places are getting better and better. 1 out of 5 stars. Disaster. Okay, they didn't even, that's all, disaster. Let's get a response from Split Burger here. You are the only disaster that has ever visited this place, and too drunk and too lonely. You need to stop drinking so much alcohol and find a girlfriend. It's sad that a young man like you should be so drunk and lonely because of alcohol. I have a feeling this person has something against alcohol. 1 out of 5 stars. They turned away a 63-year-old man from Florida because I was unaware of their timed entry. Just stupid as far as I'm concerned. They could have let the one car they made turn around in it. It would not have ruined anybody's day. It sure made my experience memorable. 1 out of 5 stars. I was so embarrassed and very disappointed with the flowers that my brother-in-law Jim got. I asked for a mixed bouquet instead of a bright and cheerful flowers. I got pink roses and yellow tulips for a man. It was designed okay, but bright pink roses for a man. I am a master floral designer, have been for 40 years. Very embarrassing to someone that does flowers. This is a 66-year-old man that received these. It consisted of hot pink roses and yellow tulips. I do not consider this a mixed arrangement. This really upset me. I called back to let them know, not to get a refund, just to let them know how disappointed I was. For a $55 arrangement and a $10 delivery charge, I will not use Hy-Vee florist again. Wish I could have given no stars. Have you ever heard of a comma? Oh, look at this little guy, a little frog man. 1 out of 5 stars. Not a good ending, literally. This book was fun and funny until you get frog butt flash at the end. It wasn't necessary, and I didn't like my 6-year-old got exposed to that. Won't be reading any more for fear of that happening again. Right, because your child is going to be traumatized if they see a butt. Something that they have. And it's a frog. It's not like a photo of a nude-ass man. It's like, it's a cartoon. You know how many times a butt shows up in SpongeBob? And I'm fine, I think. 1 out of 5 stars. Fragmented information and mostly in French. Only some in English. Lack of modern reflection on war and colonial history. Still nice things to see, though. My man, you are in France. Where's the English? 1 out of 5 stars. The lady that works there are so rude, and they give you the worst horses to ride. And they put you in a line that you only walk with the horses, nothing more. I promise you after 10 minutes it gets so boring for you. Beside, the rude ladies keep on yelling at you for no reason. Response from the owner: we're sorry to hear that your experience did not meet your expectations. However, we would like to provide some clarification regarding your visit. They're pulling out the receipts. Our booking platform clearly states at the top, in red, that our rides are conducted at a walking pace only, making them suitable for beginners. This information is also explained again at check-in and before the ride begins, including a very clear safety briefing which states that passing, trotting, or riding side by side is not permitted for everyone's safety. During your ride, despite multiple polite reminders, you and your group attempted to trot, ride side by side, and even urged the horses downhill at a faster pace. Actions which put other riders and our horses at risk. The horse you rode, Ryan, stumbled as a direct result of being pushed to trot downhill, which could have led to serious injury for both rider and horse. That could have been a bad lawsuit. You also applied excessive pressure on the horse's mouth, despite being advised that our horses are trained for gentle pleasure riding on a loose rein. It's important to note that good horsemanship includes both respect for the animals and awareness of group safety. Claiming to have owned horses in the past should come with an understanding of those responsibilities. Our team spoke firmly only after repeated safety violations. This was not due to rudeness, but because the actions taken by your group were dangerous. We make every effort to ensure all guests have a safe and enjoyable ride, but we will always prioritize the well-being of our horses and the safety of our guests. We're confident that we took the necessary steps to return everyone safely, and if that means receiving a 1-star review for upholding safety protocols, then so be it. 1 out of 5 stars. Ice cream is nice, however, my child took 1 lick and his ice cream fell off. Staff need better training in ice cream scooping. Also, after sales customer service could be a lot better as it happened at the counter. This is not, your kid must have literally pushed the ice cream off the cone. Like, oh man, they made my ice cream cone raw. It's ice cream on top of a cone. If you lick it too hard, it's going to fall off, you idiot. Hi Blank, thank you for taking the time to review us and for acknowledging that our ice cream is nice. We're always happy to hear when customers enjoy our product. We're sorry to hear about the unfortunate incident with your child's ice cream. While we'd love to have superpowers that could prevent gravity from working when ice cream meets pavement, we haven't quite mastered that yet. We do our best to serve properly scooped ice cream, but once it leaves our counter, physics tend to take over. We appreciate your feedback about our customer service and we'll certainly share it with our team. We always strive to provide the best experience possible within the realm of what's reasonably possible, though we do expect customers to handle the eating part of the transaction themselves. Thanks again for visiting us, and we hope you'll give us another chance. Perhaps get a tub to avoid disappointment. That is an amazing response. You told them what they needed to know, and you put a little smart ass in there, and I like that. That's a good response. 1 out of 5 stars. We're on vacation and drove 45 minutes to get there and hit traffic. So we're about 2 minutes late, and they told us that we were locked out and there was no way to let us in. There was only 1 other car in the parking lot we parked in, but they would let our group of 7 people in, most of which were kids. Nothing I said would change her mind. My kids were so disappointed. Thank you for your feedback. For safety reasons, people are not permitted to enter the planetarium show once it has begun. Visitors are seated at 2 p.m. and staff is informed when the operator begins the show. Planetarium shows are approximately 30 minutes. 1 out of 5 stars. I have a dairy allergy. I asked for whatever has no dairy and asked for that dairy issue to be noted on my order. Seeing the menu, I took 3 Imodium before dinner just in case the staff messed up. The staff messed up. The pesto on the chicken had Parmesan in it, which was enough to nullify my preparations. I'm extremely sensitive, as in if cheese touches my food, I have gastrointestinal distress. Will never go here again. Apparently, the staff has no idea what dairy is. Right, yeah, because no grown person knows what the fuck dairy is, right? Hey Scott, the pesto-looking sauce on your dish was a spring pea puree and is 100% dairy-free. While I'm sorry for any confusion you experienced, our staff goes through extensive training on ingredients and are always happy to clarify any concerns you may have. Take care. You know, half of these problems I feel like could literally be solved if they just took their food up to the front and asked, "Hey, excuse me, I just wanted to make sure this doesn't have dairy in it, right?" And they'd probably go, "Oh, no, that's the puree, that blah 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 blah." Cool. Problem solved. No bitching necessary, right? 1 out of 5 stars. Personalized pillow. I am very disappointed in your product. I am a Christian believer. You have God's scriptures all over the pillow, yet she is doing a yoga pose. I thought that she was praying, not doing a yoga pose. I respect your beliefs, but I will no longer be a customer, and I will alert all the people that I know personally. Okay. 1 out of 5 stars. Showed up 3 hours before they closed and said they had no more pizza. The may have wood, but the don't have pizza. Boo. 1-star review for a meal you never had? Glenn, do you make a habit of going online to leave bad reviews for every restaurant you show up at without having made a reservation, even when they are fully reserved by others who made the effort? Our slow-proofed Pain Levain dough is made at least 3 days in advance, and we can't just whip up a new batch if we sell out. 1 out of 5 stars. Weird to see Jews so overrepresented for no reason. Seriously, it was uncomfortable, especially knowing Jewish bankers sunk the Titanic so they could establish the Federal Reserve. I don't know where you got that one, but if they didn't sink the unsinkable ship with the very men who opposed their devious ideas, then they wouldn't be able to establish control of the American banking system. Titanic Museum attraction owner, hello! We frequently aim a spotlight at one particular group of passengers in order to share information that might otherwise be lost among all the other facts regarding the 2,208 people aboard Titanic. We always keep at least one display about each of these groups. The last spotlight was the children aboard, and the one before that was the Jewish people aboard the Titanic. So there is still a small amount of information displayed about them. Our museum was created to honor and tell the stories of the Titanic passengers. All Titanic passengers, without discrimination. Best wishes, Titanic crew. Themi should not have to pay money. 4 out of 5 stars. Well, this has got to be good, right? I put 4 because it is fun. Oh, okay. But you would have to pay money just to do any wallpapers and themes you want, and I think it's not fair to the people that can't afford or pay for it, especially if their parents say no. They should just stop with the "you have pay this much a month" and just let the kids get wallpapers and any themes they want for free so they can have more fun with all the cool wallpapers and themes they can have. And then this will be a 5, but for me this is a 4. Punctuation. You ever heard of it? I bought a couple of loaves of sourdough that had worms. Lucky for me, I only ate half a slice before I felt a worm crawling on my lip. When my wife told the owners the next day, they said, "That's not possible. No apology, no restitution, only denial. I will never forget the feeling of that worm on my lip. 0 out of 10. You're such a hater. Just because you don't like someone doesn't mean you should bash their business. We are very clean. We have taken all proper food handling courses, rented a commercial space that's been inspected multiple times. Everything is always fresh baked. We never serve anything over a day old. In no possible way would this have happened to you. It's sad you have to resort to trying to bring another business down to what? To make yours look better? Newsflash, it doesn't. I hope you succeed in whatever you decide to do with your life." All right, and we got a collection of Yellowstone reviews. Here we go. 1 star. Do not come here. Me and my 4-year-old daughter were attacked by a park ranger for picking a flower. A mess. Almost like it's like a park, and it's to be looked at and respected and admired and not f***ed with. 1 out of 5 stars. Huge disappointment. Water bubbling out of the ground. Wow. It's a tourist trap for foreigners. Crowds, crowds, crowds. Ridiculous prices in the stores. Commercialized like crazy. No nature here. Rules, rules, rules. Have to buy a Yellowstone fishing license. Can't keep any fish. Have to have your boat inspected. No smoking. On and on. And construction everywhere. Waste of time and money. You can see better things outside the park. Wow, it's crazy. It's almost like they're a business and it's a popular place to go. Crowds? That's insane. I wouldn't have expected that. 1 out of 5 stars. Moments ago, I was walking towards Old Faithful when I watched a middle-aged, gray-haired park employee by herself take down the American flag at 1650 in front of the Indian exhibit building. She let it hit the ground. I asked her if she would like me to assist her in folding the flag properly. She flat out said, "No, absolutely not. The flag needs to be properly disposed of and replaced with a new one. This lady needs to be retrained as a park employee and trained on the American flag and what it stands for. RNBSN Eagle Scout." I remember when I was in Boy Scouts and we were taking down a flag or doing something with it, and it accidentally touched the ground for like half a second. Oh no! I remember myself. I was like, well, don't we have to like burn it or whatever? And I think one of the leaders were kind of just shook their head and were like, it's fine. Like, it's not that big of a deal, okay? 1 out of 5 stars. I understand that the park is closed due to devastating floodwaters. It's sad. However, I sent a message to find out the price to go in, which was $35 for 7 days. Now people can only go in on certain license plate numbers for certain days. That's great, at least some of the park is open for visiting. The reply I got was, "We have no control over that, talk to your congressman." I was asking for clarification so we could be better prepared to visit this summer. I have the messages saved if any administration party would like me to email them. 1 out of 5 stars. Too many people and rules. Roads are terrible and was a waste of time and money for park rangers to be telling you that you can only be among everyone and your dog has to be in the car basically. Lots of land to be seen that you can't get to because they say so. I feel like my taxes pay for every acre. I'm sorry you feel that way. 1 out of 5 stars. Yet another national treasure ruined by liberals. I understand the loads of foreign tourists all over the road, but what really ruined our experience was the intoxicated and aggressive college students hitchhiking in the park. There were groups of these ill-prepared hikers that were standing on the road, slowing down traffic and even stepping out in front of vehicles in an attempt to make them stop throughout the park. The later in the afternoon, the more aggressive these groups became. We passed one small group that was gathered in the road by driving around them in the oncoming lane. Some of them gave us the finger while others picked up rocks and threw them at our vehicle because we wouldn't stop. This is not at all what I expected to encounter in a national park, and I hope something is done about this. 1 out of 5 stars. I know. Who in their right mind gives a national park a 1-star review? Trust me, I'm not a jerk. Oh, okay. You know who is? Pretty much everybody I dealt with getting a backcountry permit. We arrived at the park at 3:59, bought our annual pass, and told the guy we needed a backcountry permit as well. He replied, "We stopped selling those at 4 p.m. To which I replied, "Yeah, it's just now 4. He answered, "We stopped selling those at 4 p.m., but the backcountry office is open until 4:30. Thanks for the understanding. Maybe not the best idea to have him be your first impression guy." Due to traffic, we arrived at the backcountry office at, you guessed it, 4:29, and we were told they were closed, to which I replied, "It's 4:29. While put off, she did acknowledge that I was indeed correct and told me I could ask one question. Seriously. So I asked if I could get a backcountry permit for that night, to which she replied, "Wait for it. We stopped selling those at 4 p.m. The next day, we dealt with the same general foolishness, but we did manage to get permits for the other 2 nights we were there. The park itself is nice, but they might want to update their info online." So wait, you got the permits and were fine for 2 nights? I don't know how many nights you were there in total, but 1 star? You couldn't like throw them a 3 or something? What a baby. 1 out of 5 stars. I'm gonna be careful here because I know a lot of stupid people like this park, but it's terrible. I was totally bored with its geyser, and all the walking around we did was most then pointless. Yeah, I get it. There are mountains and water and rushing winds that sound like a big bird fleeting in the forgotten silence of an ancient tribe. Just shut up about it. Nothing here, absolutely nothing caught my attention except for maybe when one family argued with another family about who got to sit at this bench overlooking a deep waterfall for 10 minutes. My eyes are fresh out of interest, girls and boys. Hashtag, so that's it. Don't go there because you'll be bored. It has no history, no enjoyment, just an erupting water flow that's probably faked at this point. No way that much water is flushing repeatedly, or else it's just a waste to the environment. It was so seriously just stupid. Don't go. It's like you literally earlier you described what there is to see there, which sounds awesome. But you were bored? I'm okay. Go watch YouTube, I guess, instead of actually getting to be at these places that some people will never get to see in their lives. 1 out of 5 stars. Park ranger tried intimidating me, kept telling me I was sleeping when I was clearly just parked, used the justification that my RV slide was out as that's evidence of sleeping. They clearly prey on people with no legal training. It's 24/7 park. What business do they have bothering me if I'm legally parked at night? They just assume you're sleeping. It's BS. Well, dude, so your RV slide was out, implying you are staying for a while. Even if you're not sleeping, you're taking up a parking spot for people who want to be at the park. It's really, I feel insane having to explain this. 1 out of 5 stars. Smelled like sulfur. Ruined the experience. Would have been pretty if I was like my sister and couldn't smell anything. Okay. 1 out of 5 stars. I'd give it 5 stars, but the Wi-Fi was terrible. Most amazing park so far. Grand Canyon, most amazing park so far, but 1 star because the Wi-Fi sucked. Why are you at the park? I'm not gonna be on my phone when I'm at a national park. 1 star. They should be open for business Monday to Friday. We have been closed on Thursdays for over a year. It has been posted on the door and posted on Google for that long. 1 out of 5 stars. Don't pay attention to the hours. They won't let you eat unless you are there 30 minutes prior to their posted business hours. Terrible customer service. They close for good this year. Thank God. Dude, I bet you missed information that was posted very clearly, either on their website or on the business itself. That's probably your fault. 2 out of 5 stars. Age discrimination. Called and was setting up the appointment and all sounded great until I told them my age. They then said I would have to go get blood tests done before the procedure. I sent my blood work from my annual exam, but they said it was too old also, smile. I told them that I am 51 and healthy and get my annual physicals and take no medicine and just ran a marathon, but they did not care. This is a huge hassle. Now I have to go and find somewhere to get blood work done. This seems like age discrimination to me. I was curious if other clinics required the same blood work for a low-risk outpatient procedure. I read a study that said doctors should not waste time and resources on unneeded tests. After some searching on the internet, I found Dr. Blank, who has performed over 15,000 vasectomies, and I called and asked if I needed any blood work prior to the procedure. They said no. Beware if you go here that you age matters. And a reply from the owner, I'm sorry you felt age discrimination. Patients' health is our primary focus. We ask of all of our over 50 patients for current labs to be sure post-surgery healing will go well and without complications. Our procedures can shake up the body's defenses, so it's very important we know you're as healthy as you may look. We thank you for the opportunity to explain to others who may need to know our policy is to take care of the whole patient, not just a part of him. 2 out of 5 stars. Not enough food, seriously. Appetizers only. We came out 1 p.m. New Year and hungry. Don't go New Year's. Reply from the owner, Raymond, while we appreciate your review, damn, getting name called, it doesn't really add up. We served 14 appetizers and 5 dinner courses on New Year's Eve. You somehow left hungry? I'm sorry if the 19 courses didn't fit your appetite, but goodness, to claim that we don't serve enough food is questionable at best. Nonetheless, we wish you the best in your journey through life. 1 love. 1 star. Worst book ever. The title of this book is copied from another book, which is the one I thought I was ordering. This book is the worst book I've ever read. The only reason I read it all the way through was trying to think of someone I could give it to. The subject matter is very juvenile, however, there are numerous words that children have never heard of and would not understand. It's so bad I wouldn't even donate it to a library. It doesn't deserve a star, but I had to give it 1 to be able to write the review. The Girl with No Name. Have you also considered that books that are different from each other could be named the same thing? Just a thought. You know, there could be another book called Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone about some kid named Harry on a farm who finds a stone that belonged to a sorcerer. I'm just saying, maybe not the best example, but also I think it's weird that you're giving a book a review. I mean, I guess you did read it. You did read it, I'll give you that, but I think you're just more or less upset that you did not get the book you wanted, and that's why you gave it a 1 star, even though you had to give it a 1 star, else you can't review it. You probably would have given it a 0 star. 3 out of 5 stars. Every item but 2 things at most on the menu were cauliflower based. I didn't even feel like cauliflower, so I ate queso with chips, decent spice, and corn chowder, spicier than queso. I'm vegetarian, but personally wouldn't return return. I'm also never chose cauliflower at Pignets, would prefer other meat alternatives. Hi Phoebe, it sounds like we didn't do anything wrong, you just didn't understand what our entire menu is about. We are a cauliflower-based restaurant, so I'm not sure how you wound up here in the first place as an anti-cauliflower person, but we're glad you gave us a try and found a couple things you liked. Just a reminder that it's a tough time for all small businesses, and bad and mediocre reviews causes harm. If we did something wrong, fair game. Doesn't sound like we did though. We know we can't win them all, but it's an especially lousy time to hurt small businesses based on personal preference. I hope this message is received with the same gentleness and kindness with which it was sent. 1 star. I was craving cupcakes and decided to go here simply because they are close by. I didn't have a mask for health reasons and for my God-given right to breathe. Jesus Christ, shut the f*** up. Some employee right away starts being rude and angry towards me. I was going in for 2 minutes to grab a couple cupcakes and his behavior was completely unnecessary and over the top. I don't mind not ever buying from here anyway because their pastries aren't even good. They are a super sweet. 1 star. Would not let my disabled father skip the line even though he is wheelchair ridden and cannot even walk around to warm himself up unlike the rest of us. Said it would be unfair to others, which for some reason didn't sound like a compelling argument for somebody in his situation. You're in a line and you're saying he can't walk around to warm himself up. You're in a line. You can't walk around anyways. You're in line. You're gonna be cold standing or sitting. It makes no difference, dude. 1 star. 0 stars is not an option. The staff here are especially terrible. Anyone who works there is grungy and somehow pretentious. They don't care about you. Do yourself a favor and go somewhere else. Food 2 out of 5, service 1 out of 5, atmosphere 1 out of 5. Oh boy, long response from the owners. This review was posted by a person who is extremely self-important. Got drunk, took his dog home, came back forgetting he did that, then accused a bunch of our customers of stealing his dog. Demanded that the karaoke host stop to look at the cameras, demanded that the bartender stop serving people to look at the cameras, and demanded that the bartender call me, the owner, at 1:45 a.m. to look at the cameras. Everyone was trying to be as accommodating as we could, but he was being awful to everyone, especially our customers who he was yelling at. When he got home an hour later, his dog was there and he called to let us know. Because of the overall negativity and drama he caused, we decided to no longer allow him at our bar. He was delivered this news yesterday, thus earning us a 0 stars rating. Our customers are all very friendly, honest people and never even steal wallets or phones. They always turn them in. Our staff is always more than helpful with anyone in any situation they need help. No one stole this guy's dog. He is just upset that we will not let him come in anymore. Edited to add, everyone who was at the bar that night had to suffer the consequences of your negligence, and you want to come here and give us a 0 star review? Well, sir, we rated you 0 stars first, which is why we banned you. Got him. 1 star. I left some expensive sunglasses there at the end of the day on 10/28/23. The 3 girls working the end of the day claim they never saw them, but I know I left them there. When I called again the next day, one of the girls who was working the day before remembered me and was defensive about saying she never saw them. I am positive I left them there as I checked all other places they could have been. Employees no longer feel trustworthy to me. Hi, Jenna. After reading your review, I was a bit shocked at your accusations accusing my staff of stealing. While I am sorry that you misplaced your glasses, I will stand behind them 100% in the face of an accusation like this. I have of course asked each one of these women individually what happened, and they all relayed the same story about how you were sitting at the bar with your parents and were quite lovely in that they tried to help you locate your glasses once they were aware of the issue. We do have cameras in the restaurant and I reviewed the footage several times and there was no stealing of any glasses. You are more than welcome to come in and view the footage yourself. Please do not accuse my wonderful staff of something so egregious unless you have actual proof. If you would like to discuss this further, I am always happy to chat and often find this more meaningful and helpful than having discussions like these on public forums for thousands to view. 1 out of 5 stars. I am posting this on TripAdvisor because the management of Club Med need to hear this ASAP. Here is what happened. This evening, we took the golf cart shuttle from Aqua Marina to the main port, Kosher, something. As the driver of our golf cart was pulling up under the portico here, he pulled up very close, less than 12 inches, next to a large suburban SUV on the right. There was another golf cart parked on the immediate left, so he sandwiched in between the two vehicles. He pulled up and stopped the golf cart for everyone to get out. I screamed out to our kids to stop and not move. By the grace of God, they stayed in the golf cart. As the Suburban, only inches to our right, started driving forward. If our kids would have stepped out of the golf cart, they would have been dragged under the Suburban SUV and crushed under the wheels. I yelled at the golf cart driver and he was completely oblivious. He did not even know what was going on. We were sick the whole night with the thought of what could have happened. 1 star. I was asking the cashier about a product and he walks out from that little room in the front of the store and says, "Oh, they stopped making that particular product." I said I don't think so. I buy it every time I go to Walmart. Then he had to pull his nasty little foot out of his nasty little mouth. And he was the manager, and he is the rudest, nasty little thing. I would never buy anything in that store ever again, ever. To tell me they quit making a product just because he hasn't heard of it in his precious little store, the nasty, nasty, nasty little owner didn't like my very honest review that I gave of his nasty response to me looking for a product that he claimed was not sold anymore, which I buy all the time at different stores. Nasty, nasty little man, God help anybody who works for him. This hope he has a horrible summer. What a nasty owner of a store. At poor cashier, I could see it on her face. When he came struck out of that office telling me that that product was not available anymore. Nasty, nasty, nasty little man. 1 star. I'm a little confused as to why whoever owns this now decided it was a good idea to host weddings and such as a place as this. Kinda stupid in my opinion, considering he deserves better than that. This is not a place for weddings and stuff. If anything, it should be like a tour of Houdini's place. I'm sure it probably has that, right? 1 star. Wanted to try this place out for a cup of coffee. Walked in the front door and was nicely greeted. Walked up to the counter and was told they were closed and they would be open the next day at 7. I can't believe that they couldn't have gotten me a cup of coffee and pastry to go. There were 6 people sitting at tables. How much you want to bet they got there before it was closed? We are so sorry that this was your first experience with our place. We would have loved to serve you, however, at 2 p.m. our tills and machines are closed down. We allow guests that have made purchases prior to closing to remain in our shop while we close up the cafe. We hope you give us another try and are able to change the review from a 1 star to a 5 star, as that's what we strive for with every customer experience. We're open Monday to Thursday, 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Friday, 6 a.m. to 9 p.m., Saturday to Sunday, 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. Very helpful. I'm sure he's not reading any of that. 2 out of 5 stars. Was in town from Green Bay. Was an impulsive same-day decision to come here, and we weren't aware it was gonna rain. Got a 1-hour reservation, and it started raining 15 minutes in, so we didn't even get to enjoy it. Wish it didn't rain. Would have been super relaxing. Worth the money even just for an hour. Hopefully next time we stop in, it won't rain. So you gave them a bad review because of what Mother Nature did and not them? Asshole. 2 out of 5 stars. Food is fine, not bad. The reason for the 2 stars is for the ketchup. Why on earth a vegan place, which is supposed to be a healthier cuisine, is giving customers a ketchup with high fructose corn syrup? I received it with my plant-based burger and fries. Well, dude, it's vegan, but like, that doesn't mean it's all like still good for you. You're still eating a burger with a bunch of crap. It's like, it's better. It's better than like a real meat burger in terms of health. But you're concerned about high fructose corn syrup? 3 stars. This is the highest I've seen today. First time of being called out of eating in here. I have eaten in here a couple of times prior to that, and nobody said anything. But what really takes the cake is the fact that there's an Indian guy that comes in here every single day and eats every single day, and yet he's never been called out for it, only because he sits in the back where they obviously don't pay attention to those things in the back. There is a sign up front that says no food or drinks, but yet I have seen people in here with bottles of whatever they're drinking and they have never been called out for it, or at least from what I've seen personally. And I've been in here quite a bit. Hell, I even had a guy drinking coffee right next to me, and nobody said anything to him. Like, make it make sense. 1 star. Awful. Rude. Just to the point. Hi, Jessica. While we're sorry you didn't enjoy your visit to the cafe, please understand that our mask policy is not up for negotiation, since you refused multiple polite offers of a free mask to wear when ordering inside at the register, and also refused the accommodation to order takeout through the QR code on our front window. We did not serve you any food or drinks today. 1 star. Do not come here if you like being lied to. Came in here on a Thursday, bought something, and then asked if they charge for a cup of milk. Young lady told me at the time that they did not charge for that sort of thing. Came back a couple days later, asked if I could have one, and just as I figured, new gal told me that they charge for that sort of thing. Came back and told her that that's not what I was told originally. Still refused to give me any, and then tried to get on their Wi-Fi, and supposedly the owner asked me if I needed anything, and I told her no. Then she told me that if I needed to buy something in order to get on their Wi-Fi, claimed that it showed that, and when I was in there, I did not see anything of that sort. Long story short, contradictions are bad for business. Might want to keep that in mind. Either that or get your employees in check. 2 stars. Bought my dress here. Fell out of love with my dress. No refunds, no exchanges, and no exceptions. Okay, well that's just that you are poorly reviewing them for your fault. You should have read their text. You goddamn idiot. 1 star, 0 stars. The absolute worst. Instead of giving my change in my hand, it was placed on the counter. I was told it was because of COVID-19. I suggested they buy gloves. So rude. The lady working wanted to argue with me because I commented on her rudeness. After I already paid for the order, $100 for some carry-out vegetables, I was so offended. I will never go back. 1 star. I share the sentiments of the last few reviews. I used to shop there regularly. Today I tried to return an item that I had unfortunately lost the receipt. I requested either a store credit or replacement of the item I purchased. That did not work. The store manager refused to do anything without a receipt. Makes sense. After returning home, I did actually find the receipt, but they can keep their $50. I won't be shopping there again. 1 star. I don't understand how this museum can defend civil rights, but doesn't allow people to protect themselves while they are there. The museum security denied me, a school resource officer, entry into the building because of my weapon. I had to remain in my vehicle and let my students be unprotected in downtown Memphis. Wait, I thought you said you weren't allowed into a museum. But now you're saying that they're unprotected in downtown Memphis? Like just roaming around the city? Which is it, bud? 1 star. Didn't even get to enter. Went here with my 7-year-old kid. Didn't see any information on minimum age. Owner came out and just pointed at this sign and closed its door without saying anything. Horrible. Yeah, I can see that you didn't see any information on minimum age because you must be blind. It's right there. 1 star. They have a repellent treatment and their food is soy productos based, which is proven to create cancer, having the same amount of toxic ureas, proteins of meat, and promote estrogens. 3 stars. Came in here a few years ago. Didn't have very much at the time, although this place is pretty cool. I'm gonna have to say that the guy who's running it talks way too dame mooch and practically never shuts up. For a person that doesn't talk at all that mooch anyways and practically keeps to himself most of the time, that's pretty well the only thing I got going against this shop. Response from the owner. I am deeply sorry that my cadence of speech triggered your social anxiety to the point that you felt a 3-star review was merited. My goal is to make sure every human leaves the store with a smile on their face, whether they buy from us or not. If I ever have the opportunity to attempt to earn your business again, I will make sure to take a vow of silence like a Shaolin monk before you walk in. I will use notes in response if you have any questions rather than the turbulence of my voice box, so I do not hurt your ears. Have a great day, sir, and thank you for the insight. I will try to slow down a bit and not be so excited that I am living my dream and sharing my passion for skateboarding with the world. It sucks not being depressed because I do not fit in with anybody. Maybe I will watch sad movies before I open so I can act more emo and run down like 90% of the world. 1 star. Lack of communication. Went into the shop for tasting samples of cakes, which that was fine. Erin made me feel as if she couldn't fill my cake order in. In fact, I received 1 call from her to let me know that she had other ideas for the layout for the cake. I left several messages for Erin. She never got back to me to let me know she would not be able to fill my cake order for my husband retirement party. My daughter-in-law and I were scrambling to the last days to find a cake shop to fill our cake order. Sincerely, not a happy customer. Your tasting was for a Thursday. You blew that off and called up on Saturday. We accommodated another testing for Tuesday. You were supposed to send your images that day. 6 days later, you sent images. You were reached out to twice and not available. You were told you missed your window. We are disappointed with how we were treated as well. 1 star. Shocking services. Just jumped out a moving taxi. Should have got the bus. No in danger. My life. Never be using them again and don't want people to terrible. I understood that. Ryan, you tried to run away out of the car and bump the driver as you had no money. You then handed your phone over to the driver to hold until you got your mom to come out and pay. Finally, you decided to grab the phone back and jump out of the car as the driver was maneuvering. Everything has been recorded on the vehicle's CCTV and will be handed over to the police. Please do not come back to our office for a taxi. You are now blacklisted. 1 star. Worst Thai food ever. Rather, worst food ever, if it can be called that. We went on Christmas Eve, so naturally it was very understaffed. 1 person trying to run the show. We ordered pad ki mao and stir-fried cashew. Order arrived after a good while, and stir-fried cashew was floating vegetables and cashews in chili water. Pad ki mao drunken noodles tasted like chili fried in garlic paste and was inedible. College students can make better food than this. Hi there, I'm sorry you didn't enjoy your experience with us. I know exactly who you are. I recall your order, so here's the deal. The 2 items you ordered are not vegan, but you wanted them vegan. Now it's possible to do, but it changes our recipes and therefore changes the end product that you receive. We have vegan options on the menu to accommodate our vegan guests that do not require substitutes to the recipes and are delicious. You did not select any of those options and instead chose items not listed as vegan options. Most things are possible to alter, but it should go without saying that if we change our tried and true recipes to accommodate your dietary preferences and or necessities, you may not enjoy the end result in the same way that if it were made without modification. Literally, if you change our recipes, you run the risk of it not being nearly as good. So you came it, modified, and substituted our recipes, and then we are unhappy with the result. I am sorry you were unhappy, but I'm also kind of at a loss here. I feel like you likely would have been much more satisfied with the food had you selected items that have already incorporated your dietary restrictions, of which there are plenty of options and are clearly highlighted throughout the menu. You're welcome to email us at blank to discuss it further if you wish. In any case, I hope you have a Merry Christmas and find some food in town that you enjoy. Cheers. 1 star. A staff member refused to refer to my clearly female daughter as she. My daughter is a girl. She is 4 and is not a they. An institution that pretends to trust the science, but denies an outright scientific fact and instead goes off the deep end and bows to radical ideology. Tragic. Dude, people who fucking moan when people refer to someone as they, like, dude, people have been doing that for decades, centuries, since the word they has been created, probably. Like, you can use they for someone who is a man, a woman, non-binary. It doesn't matter. It's like, it's really not that hard to process, man. 1 out of 5 stars. It was my first time coming in with my wife and my daughter, who was home from the Navy and wasn't in the office 3 minutes when we were treated like thieves and told to leave immediately because my daughter thought that the small boxes in a glass jar above a cabinet were free samples. I understand when a business owner is frustrated over theft in their business, but it could have been handled differently. Blank could have informed my daughter that those weren't free samples and that they were for sale or product use in the office, since many other products in the cabinet below the jar were locked. I tried going back in to apologize for the misunderstanding, but she told us once again to leave because she would call the police. Blank, I apologize for the misunderstanding. I wish you could have handled the situation better. My daughter felt you were the person to do her eyebrows before returning to base, but was disappointed with how she was treated. With all due respect, when I came in and saw the product was missing and asked you about it, you all, including your wife who was scheduled for a follow-up appointment, pretended not to know what I was talking about. I asked several times where it went, And finally, as your daughter proceeded to pull the product from out of her purse, she said, "Oh, I was going to pay for it." For future reference, generally free samples are marked as such. I would have been more understanding if you and your party's response would have been an immediate apology with the quick return of the product, but that was not the case, and my security footage along with witnesses will corroborate my version of this incident. 1 star, no vegan options. Come on, it's 2024. Thank you for taking the time to review us. We have quite a few vegetarian options that can easily be turned into vegan by removing the cheese. Apologies if this was not communicated to you. It probably was. Our exec chef is currently also working on some exciting new vegan dishes that will be added in the next month. Wow. 1 star. Are the wallabies gay or is it the emu? Why the hell is this flag hanging in a zoo predominantly for children? This flag is solely about your orientation in the bedroom. Wrong. Stop it. Take it down. This is not quite as bad as when you held a LGBTQ event for children with adults, but it all has to stop. I am a member with children. The place is full of children. Stop indoctrinating them with your orientation flags. What do you are a member? What do you mean by that? Like a member of the zoo? I don't. I'm lost by a couple different things here. If you think in any way that this is indoctrination and not just showing support for a group of people who are very commonly, oppressed and harassed for simply existing, you're a idiot and you don't deserve anything good. 1 out of 5 stars, parked in blank parking building and the car got towed and damaged during towing. The line on floor looks no different than others. Guess what? On top of the wall there is a no parking sign. Why this parking place is not marked with cross lines in red color? Dude, you didn't see the red box and the words no parking above it? You parked right in front of it and you didn't see that. That's a skill issue, dude. That is on you. Wow, 5 out of 5 stars. This is probably a very positive review. Let's take a look here. I love never going into this store. I boycott every Spencer's. Oh, I've been in one before and I hate their vibe. Probably 20 to 50% of the things they sell, most of the music they play, their target demographic, etc. Not for me. I stay out of this store at all times. I consider each Spencer's as an abomination of today's current society. I never once went into this particular Spencer's. I don't shop here, and I don't think anyone should. I am passionately close-minded on the topic and won't listen to any persuasions against my current outlook. That's just how all politics are. Thank you for taking the time to share your perspective, even though you have not visited this particular location. We understand that our brand and product offerings at Spencer's are not for everyone, and we respect your decision to boycott our stores and stay out of them. We aim to be a fun, irreverent, and sometimes provocative place to shop, but we recognize that our vibe, merchandise, and target demographic do not align with your personal preferences or outlook. We appreciate your honesty regarding your stance on the matter. It's like, yeah, thanks for the 5 stars, I guess, even though you've never been here and are boycotting us? Okay. 1 out of 5 stars. Wanted a place to park for free. Don't do it here. Sign says they will tow unattended vehicles. So you rated the place low on a review because they wouldn't let you park for free. Okay. 1 out of 5 stars. Look at the little guy. Refused entry with a service animal. Against the law. Asked what the service animal was for, which they aren't supposed to do. Keep breaking the law while everyone else has to follow them. I will be reporting this to the state. Plot twist, it was actually the dog who made the post. 1 out of 5 stars. My ex used this firm against me. The judge reprimanded Mr. Blank 7 times in a row for asking questions the judge told him was not allowed. It got to the point where the judge had to raise his voice on the 7th time and scolded him. If it happens again, he's throwing his case out. The whole time in court, he would slouch and sit all back, relaxed, completely unprofessional and disrespectful to the judge and everyone involved. Highly unprofessional firm. 1 out of 5 stars. Very rude hostess who did not want to seat me and my partner at a bigger table. The restaurant had many bigger tables open and there were 2 people sitting at a bigger table. However, she proceeded to tell me it was only my small table available or the bar. I asked, but I see 2 people sitting at the larger table and she continued to tell me only the bar and small table were available. Very unpleasant experience and unnecessary unprofessionalism. Dude, is it really that big of a deal? Like, is a normal table for 2 people not enough for you? Like what? 1 out of 5 stars. Me and my sister just walked out a few minutes and tried to play Singo Bingo. They refused us service, and the woman was extremely rude and had a massive attitude and made us wait for an answer for a few minutes. She thought you could just attend their Singo Bingo like other places and not be forced into buying foods or a beverage. She said this is a restaurant, and in order to play you must eat or buy a drink. We both walked out, very disappointed and confused. I guess they don't care about their patrons, and it should be stated on Facebook and social media and signs stating not you must purchase food or beverage to attend their Singo Bingo event. Very disappointing. Quite unprofessional staff. I'm sure there were notices and information like that everywhere. You probably just didn't see it. 1 out of 5 stars. Called in to take an appointment for a hot tub session for my wife, who is 38 weeks pregnant. We couldn't make the drive from blank to blank and called in to cancel on the day of the appointment and still got charged $80 on my card. Will steal your money. Be very careful. Don't give them the credit card on the phone. 3 out of 5 stars. Oodles of cats running around. A good sightseeing stop for rescue cats and a good mission for the island. 3 stars just based strictly on the fact that I don't like cats that much and it's a little disorganized, e.g. it's just getting a bag of cat food and then feeding cats. Not much educational piece or any guided tours on the mission statement, etc. So you don't like cats that much, but you went to a cat sanctuary? Okay, that makes sense. 1 out of 5 stars. I did not have a good experience or a good outcome as a client of blank. Initially, I wasn't planning to leave a review, but the incessant calls and texts asking for feedback have prompted me to share this much. Take from it what you will. And a response from the owner: this is a first for us. We've never had anyone leave a negative review for asking for a review after an excellent result. This is blank. She was caught on camera stealing from the BB Walmart and possessing an instrument of crime. We achieved an excellent result by getting the instrument of crime charge dismissed and keeping her out of jail on the theft charge despite being caught red-handed and being in front of the hardest judge in Arkansas. Moreover, blank lived out of state and we saved her from having to come back to Arkansas multiple times. After every case where we get an excellent result, we ask for a review. Blank never responded to us. She just posted this negative review. While she might not be, we are proud of the results we achieved for her. Insane. Absolutely insane. They kept you out of jail and you just, you got so annoyed. They just asked for a review and they kept you out of jail. I better treat them like ass and be a dick about it. 1 out of 5 stars. Tried to book an appointment and they wanted a $50 deposit for what I have to wait almost 2 months to even get into the door. Also, ain't this supposed to be low income, so why ask for a deposit? Hi, Isaiah. We're sorry to hear that our deposit policy caused you an inconvenience. Unfortunately, no-shows for appointments have been a recurring issue, which is why we had to implement this policy. Spray and Save's mission is to provide low-cost services, and in order to do so, we need to ensure a minimum number of appointments are completed each day. This allows us to pay our staff and keep the clinic running efficiently. When people don't show up, it affects our ability to maintain affordable pricing and impacts clients who have been waiting for months for an appointment. We understand your frustration and appreciate your understanding of why this policy is in place. 2 out of 5 stars. So, I thought the girl at the front desk was cute. Gave her my number with a note saying, "Call me." Next thing I know, her manager is giving me a ration of shit calling what I did fraternization? That's fine. She is married. That was all that woman had to say. I hope you're reading this. Last I checked, I live in America. If you're gonna get butthurt every time someone tries to flatter you or give you a compliment, get the fudge out. No, I will not stay here again. Unless I get a freaking apology. No reason at all to make it out like I did anything wrong. I'll be waiting. Dude, you offered your number to a married woman who's just working. Like, Jesus Christ, they're just trying to work. They are not interested in you. You're such a baby, dude. 1 out of 5 stars. They called me yesterday and tried to have me reschedule for an earlier appointment, but I couldn't make it. The woman on the phone tried to say she wasn't sure if the doctor would still do the appointment. I explained the original appointment was really the only time I could make it. She changed her tone and went, "Oh no, okay, he'll be there." That sketched me out from the beginning and made me feel like the doctor didn't want to be there at my appointment time. Then comes the appointment. I get horribly lost. It's really easy to do this at Memorial Hospital, and I called the office 3 times and no answer. They finally call me and the woman is unhelpful and honestly kinda mean to me over the phone. Their website offers zero guidance on how to find the office too. Absolutely nothing. Unsure why they weren't answering my calls because as soon as I walked into the office, there were 4 women at the desk doing nothing but staring at me like I was some sort of insane person. It made me feel horrible. I had to get something from my car and by the time I get back, they tell me the doctor left, which I can understand, but they should have called me so I didn't bother the trek all the way back. The entire thing was just bad vibes. I'd never go here again. A response from the owner, Michelle, I am sorry about your bad experience, but we were happy to see you at your appointment time. You presented to the front desk and stated you forgot your wallet and had to go back to your car after another 30 minutes, then could not find your way back to the office despite my actual office staff going out to the parking lot to find you. Would be happy to reschedule and offer you our Botox discount day price anytime. I am sorry for your experience. For the boys, 1 out of 5 stars. Hello there, chaps. You've made my 6-year-old son cry. Wanna know why? He's patiently waited for this game to come out only to find out he has to wait 8 hours after it's installed. What do you want him to do? Take the fucking day of school to play Mario Kart? Not happening. Nah, mate, not in a hell's chance. Whoever reads this, I hope you're happy with yourself. He's sat next to me in tears, asking why it ain't working. I need answer and I need them right now. 1 out of 5 stars. I have never been more proud of a 1-star Google review than this one. Mr. Blank is the father of Blank, the multi-time drunk driver that hit and killed my personal assistant Blank on 4/27/21. I appeared at his parole hearing on June 11th, 2025 to the chagrin of both Blank son and Blank father, at which time the TDOC denied Mr. Blank's bid for parole. I make no apologies for representing my friend, colleague, and victim Blank in this matter, and given the opportunity to redo it, I would not only do it, but I would exercise every ounce of my legal skill and ability to ensure that this legally convicted drunk driving felon stay behind bars. Life is all about choices, and Blank made the decision to drive heavily impaired for the umpteenth time, resulting in the loss of life of my friend. If this garners a bad review from his father, then so be it, but Mr. Blank, you have the ability to see, hear, and communicate with your son. I and Blank's beloved family, on the other hand, are not afforded the privilege because your son took a life without concern, and he now must pay the price that ought be due man. Hashtag play to win. I can understand you're angry, but a Google review is not the place to spill all this personal information. 1 out of 5 stars. Extremely disappointing experience. I host community music events called Snap or Go Home that bring together people of all backgrounds. Black, Spanish, white, everyone. We were holding our event nearby, being peaceful, respectful, and minding our own business. For no reason, this restaurant started targeting us and even called the police with false accusations, claiming my supporters were doing things they absolutely were not. It was clear we were being profiled simply because our crowd was made up of people of color. There was no reason for this treatment, especially when everyone in our group was respectful and calm. This kind of behavior is unacceptable, and it says a lot about how the business chooses to treat others. Response from the owner. We didn't call the police for no reason, as you state. We called the police because someone from your party urinated on the side of our building, which multiple people witnessed. If this is what you call respectful, as you state you were being, then we must have had different understandings of the word. 1 out of 5 stars. Ran out of a promo on the first day. Staff was rude about explaining why they only received 50 in a town with a population of nearly 28,000 people. I suspect the staff or management is scalping. Okay, why would they make 28,000 of any product for one store? I don't know what this is for, what the promo is, if it's Pokemon or something. I have no idea. 1 out of 5 stars. Rob cannot be trusted. Overcharges, admitted only working on the case for 2 to 4 hours, says his charge is $250 an hour, but will not return my calls for a refund of part of the $5,000 he was given up front. Absolutely nothing done, better off with a public defender. Said drug court or suspended sentence would be possible, but lied my friend got 15 years. Does nothing for you when judge and PA are retaliating against you and are very racist. Others with same charges, who are white, gets probation. Slap in the face obvious. I totally disagree with your comments. Obviously you are not my client, but your friend, my client, was looking at 44 years in prison for bringing methamphetamine into the courthouse. If it was not for me, your friend would have more than likely gotten the max of 44 years. With the public defender, he would have had to try the case before a jury. The state was wanting to try it, but with my negotiation skills, I was able to work out a plea of 15 years, which your friend voluntarily and under oath accepted. Please remember that your friend had been previously convicted of at least 2 serious felonies. I did charge your friend a fee of $5,000 and I concluded his case. Therefore, he is not entitled to any refund. Dude, yeah, 15 years over 44? Yeah. That's not bad. 1 out of 5 stars. My family was so excited to go on our snorkeling adventure with Sea Maui. Prior to booking the trip, I spent 20 minutes on the phone with them, ensuring they would be able to accommodate my daughter, who has mobility issues and walks with forearm crutches. I was assured they were absolutely able to accommodate. Our family was at the check-in location at 7:30 a.m. for our 8 o'clock tour. When checking in, I was told the manager wanted to speak with me. When she appeared, she let me know that they would not be able to accommodate my daughter. When asked for an explanation, I was told it was due to insurance reasons and that crutches are not allowed on the boat. Even after letting them know that she could climb stairs without assistance, we were told we could not go. We were never allowed to inspect the stairs, give it a try before departure, etc. I did my research, asked the appropriate questions, and was completely transparent with this company prior to booking. The fact that they were able to look a 12-year-old girl in the eye and tell her she can't do something due to a disability is despicable. We have raised our daughter, letting her know she can and will do anything she puts her mind to, and this company single-handedly took years of teaching away from her. I'm sure their tour is outstanding, but our family will never know, and we hope you don't choose to support a company that clearly violates every piece of what it takes to be a decent human being. If this company would have been honest from the beginning, we could have avoided the absolute embarrassment they caused to our daughter, who, after hearing we couldn't go, looked at me and said, "I'm so sorry, Mom," as if it was her fault that we were no longer able to go on the trip. I cannot help but feel like they did not say on the phone, "Oh, your daughter has crutches? That's fine," and then change their mind when you get there. I doubt it. I absolutely doubt it. You probably misheard something or were just delusional. I don't know. And that little bit at the end, that sounds like a little extra something you threw on there to make them feel bad. I don't know. I'm getting bad vibes. Oh, okay. So we have a response from the owner. I gotta see this. Thankfully, in this day and age, we have all the receipts. You should be deeply ashamed of yourselves for attempting to publicly blame us for the situation. We've thoroughly investigated your entire contact with Sea Maui from start to finish and have concluded that this is entirely your own fault. Oh, it's getting spicy. There were numerous opportunities for you to be honest with us and yourselves. We listened to the phone call. Oh, they recorded the phone call. And our booking agent did indeed inform you that your daughter needed to be able to walk unassisted on the sand, water, and stairs. Sometimes a cane or crutches can be manageable depending on the conditions that day. However, that was not the case with her. You never mentioned that she uses a wheelchair, even if she can walk short distances. You were dishonest about her ability, stating that she would have been fine boarding on her own. Even if you don't recall that part of the conversation, there's information on our website and in your email confirmation that explains this as well. We even called and left a voicemail prior to your trip to double check the mobility issues noted by the agent on your booking. We wanted to ensure that you understood that boarding could be challenging. We did everything we could to avoid this disappointment, but we didn't receive a call back. Of course, we would have loved to take your family out, but we couldn't risk her safety. We don't compromise anyone's safety, even if it means hurting some feelings or resulting in a negative review. Anyway, thank you for the 1-star review. We happily refunded your family, which we didn't have to do, and ensured that your daughter was safe. You're welcome. Perhaps in the future, you could be more honest and upfront about your daughter's mobility issues. We're all about empowering those we can, but safely. There are many other vessels on Maui that load from a dock, and we would have happily helped you book onto one of those trips if we had known the full truth. Man, people who are dishonest piss me off enough, but people who are dishonest about, like, at the expense of their kids, that is even more upsetting. 1 out of 5 stars. Front desk girl was rude. I came to have a relaxing spa day and it was okay. You're naked in a hot tub, basically. Okay. What upsets me is someone passed out next to me and busted their head open. I fainted when I seen all the blood. You would think they would compensate for that, but no. I left with a head injury and ambulance took way too long to get the poor guy. You guys should warn about how dangerous it is to be in a hot tub and sauna for so long. What? 1 out of 5 stars. This highlights the problem with this app. I live in Leeds. I pass Unite students regularly. I have no reason to go in and have never been in. I do use the Weatherspoons next door on a regular basis. This app has often asked for reviews of locations I have only passed. It recently asked for a review of a Weatherspoons which I sat opposite on a bus for 15 minutes. Hello, sorry to hear you are having issues with the Trustpilot app. Please contact them directly as this isn't related to Unite students. All the best, Bex.